expensive things you could ever have provided.
The G20 summit underway in Japan, but a lot of attention is focusing on tomorrow's planned meeting of Chinese President Xi and President Trump.
It'll be an exciting day. A lot of people are talking about it, and it's very interesting, and it's going to come out hopefully well for both countries, and ultimately it will work out.
Mr. Trump says despite reports to the contrary, he has not promised to hold off on new tariffs on Chinese imports. In a stunning rebuke of Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the House approving the Senate's $4.6 billion humanitarian aid package aimed at easing the crisis on the southern border. On Wall Street this hour, stock futures are higher. Right now, Dow futures up 42 points. NASDAQ futures 4.5 points higher, and the S&P futures are up 6 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
A little bit of fog out there for our Friday morning. Right now, though, we're accident-free and delay-free, but it is early. We've got a lot going on this weekend, but today we've got midday road work. 9 to 4, you'll see construction on eastbound 44 near 270. And we do have a lot of road work in other spots. Your on-ramp from St. Charles Rock Road to eastbound 270 closed with road work until late August. And the on-ramp from Watson to westbound 44, that's closed with road work until the end of October. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Joe Walsh describes why Congress is putting Trump in a tough spot.
Trump's got a big problem. He got elected promising to do something about our border.
The Democrats up on Capitol Hill, they're not going to do anything.
In Trump's defense, by the way, the Republicans up on Capitol Hill, they're gutless and cowardly when it comes to our border, too. So Trump's got a big problem.
The Joe Walsh radio program. Weeknights at 8 on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer. Breaking news. Stimulating talk.
You've just become an empty nester. The kids have moved. You've been waiting for this moment. It's time to reinvest in your home. Your home is your safe haven. You've been thinking about adding shutters for quite some time, but you don't know which style would look best and you're unsure of the cost. You've seen them in many homes, both modern and traditional. You're scared to do it yourself, and you should be. Don't go it alone. Contact Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home. Michael is a top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Why wait? Schedule your in-home consultation with his mobile design unit. The one-on-one appointment will ensure the look is exactly what you need for your home. Contact Michael at proctordrapery.com. It's Proctor spelled like doctor.
Quit eating burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Fresh, juicy beef smashed till it's crispy around the edges, covered in gooey cheese, and stacked to the ceiling with deliciousness. Follow your instincts to Buffalo Wild Wings for the new All-American Cheeseburger.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hovels and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in.
fence me in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning this morning. Good morning this morning. A happy Friday to all of you. Got a big day. Carafano on the way. Jim Talon on the way. Doug Giles on the way. Marcation on the way. And all kinds of levity as a result of the debate last night, which turned out as expected. I told you that Kamala Harris was going to be coming out swinging, didn't I? And she sure as heck did. And she went directly after Biden. And wrongly in some cases, because I still believe this segregationist thing and this stuff about busing is all really a jacked up charge against Biden. But let me tell you something. He's got more problems than that. My goodness gracious. This guy is about ready for the glue factory. Did you watch what was going on last night? I think the quintessential part of this particular debate, the one where you really saw Biden at a level where he was absolutely not ready for prime time. It was kind of subtle, to tell you the truth. I mean, you had to kind of wander your way through it and listen to what he did. But he was asked about health insurance or whatever it happened to be, and he went into this long, meandering answer that showed him to be quite incapable of having any kind of forceful, articulated positioning. And listen to how he just bumbled through this answer. This was actually kind of sad, really almost disturbing to a certain degree. And I want to play it for you. I'll stop and start, but as you listen to it, listen to him say, all right, there are three things. And then he only gives you one. And then he says A, blah, 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 but there's never any B. So it's really weird. I mean, he had no idea what he was doing, and people noticed. People in the Democratic Party certainly noticed. And Kamala Harris just ran all over him anyway. But again, I think that's not that whole segregation, that stuff is, I'm surprised Kamala Harris focuses so much on that. She really doesn't need to. But that's what happens, unfortunately, when some black politicians want to do the race thing. They'll do it anyway, even when they really don't have to. That's the problem. But anyway, listen to this. Listen to Joe and kind of go.
Vice President Biden, I believe you said that your health care plan would not cover undocumented immigrants. Could you explain your position?
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon.
I believe at the show of hands, you did not raise your hand.
So listen to this, though, part.
Did you raise your hand?
First of all, Savannah Guthrie is inept. She didn't think that Joe Biden raised his hand when the question was asked, and we'll get to that, about whether illegal aliens ought to have health insurance. And he had to correct her and say that he did. But, of course, that's a presupposition on the part of Savannah Guthrie because she's trying to help Biden along. But he corrects her, rightly so.
Okay, sorry. So you said they would be covered under your plan, which is different than Obamacare.
Yes, but here's the thing.
Can you explain that change?
Yes. You cannot let, as the mayor said, you cannot let people who are sick, no matter where they come from, no matter what their status, go uncovered. You can't do that. It's just going to be taken care of, period. You have to. It's a humane thing to do. But here's the deal. The deal is that he's right about three things. Number one, they, in fact...
Okay. Keep in mind, he's right about three things. Number one, that's the last you're going to hear of the numerical order.
Contribute to the well-being of the country, but they also, for example, they've increased the lifespan of Social Security because they have a job, they're paying a Social Security tax. That's what they're doing. It's increased the lifespan. They would do the same thing in terms of reducing the overall cost of health care by them being able to be treated and not wait till they're in extremis. The other thing is, folks, look, we can deal with these insurance companies. We can deal with the insurance companies by, number one, putting insurance executives...
Keep in mind, this is another number one. But it's never going to go past that number one.
In jail for their misleading advertising, what they're doing on opioids.
And by the way, he's suggesting putting insurance executives in jail for misleading advertising.
What they're doing, paying doctors to prescribe, we could be doing this by making sure everyone who is on Medicare, that the government should be able to negotiate the price for whatever the drug costs are. We can do this by making sure that we're in a
That's stolen right from President Trump, by the way, the drug costs.
Position that we, in fact, allow people. Time's up.
So you saw him actually suggesting time was up because he's desperately trying to escape this mire that he's in. And the Democrats all really kind of noticed what was going on. Axelrod, and that wasn't the first time. I'll play you more. But David Axelrod, as you know, who was an Obama bot and is kind of the sage of the Democratic Party. He thought that Biden really came across really, really poorly.
I think it was a tougher night for the most seasoned candidates on the platform for
Why do you
Vice
think
President
that was?
Biden. Because they seemed like part of the past rather than the future. At times, the vice president seemed somewhat confused to me in handling some of the questions and following some of the actions. He seemed a bit defensive. And Bernie Sanders, we joked earlier, he might have been a hologram because a lot of what we heard tonight, we've heard many, many times before.
He might have been a hologram. So, I mean, that's coming from David Axelrod. And keep in mind, Van Jones is no sage as far as I'm concerned, and Van Jones has a few vested interests here and there, but he was savage.
Had a moment that was 2 hours long.
Right.
I mean, a star was born.
So you can tell he's a Kamala Harris person, so of course he's going to say what he's about to say about Biden.
Earlier tonight at 8 o'clock that you were waiting for Kamala Harris to have her moment. You've known her for 20 years.
Listen, a star was born tonight. This is a masterful performance. She completely dominated the stage. And most importantly, she would kick Donald Trump's butt. And she proved it tonight. That was, if you had any doubt that you could nominate a woman that would take Donald Trump to the woodshed, she just took it away from you. So last night we had a breakout, Castro. Tonight we had a breakdown, Biden. He had the most to lose, and I think he lost it.
Yeah.
In that,
and I think Van Jones is right. And I guess Biden's necessarily up against a wall here because he's been built up so much by the news media as the front runner. And again, this is why, for instance, Joe Biden is, and the news media always have these problems when people are propped up to the degree that they're propped up when they don't have the substance. So the only propping that you have, the only support you have is the CNN crew and Savannah Guthrie or Lester Holt or any of these other folks, but it's all fake. It's kind of like the house built on sand. And Hillary Clinton had the same problem. The people were kind of propping her up when she was undeserving of that propping up. She didn't deserve it. But they did it anyway. And I love it. Actually, I actually kind of like it when politicians start to believe their own press because they become overconfident. They don't study up. They don't bone up for the big game, which is really ultimately against the other candidates. And so when it comes time for them to really show their mettle, they just wilt. They don't have it because it's all built around phoniness. And Joe Biden, he was not in any way, shape, or form qualified to get the kind of attention that he got early on. And you noticed he rarely talked to the media, and he's Hollywood's candidate. He's clearly, in my opinion, the news media's candidate, at least the mainstream. And so they gave him all this cred that he just didn't deserve. And he made all these crazy statements and slurred his words all through everything, had these weak kind of speeches in front of small crowds, and nobody paid any attention. and nobody asked him to account for it. So that's why you had the Biden breakdown yesterday. I mean, listen to what Biden had to say, what his first priority would be as president of the United States, okay? This is Joe Biden telling us what his first priority will be as president of the United States.
But the first thing I would do is make sure that we defeat Donald Trump. Okay. Period.
I mean, you already defeated Donald Trump. But he you once you're president, you can stop running against your opponent. It's okay. You know, but that was a bad mistake. I mean, he's asked what his first priority as president will be. He's saying, "I'm going to beat Donald Trump." It's like, well, that happened like the day before. It's crazy. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, although I have to tell you, Marianne Williamson, the spiritual leader, she had a few moments too. So I'll have to focus on Marianne Williamson a little bit too. But Kamala Harris, this is the thing. She came out very energetically, but her main strikes were, I think, based on a wrong point of view. So, for instance, on the segregationist stuff, Joe Biden shouldn't be hung on the segregationist comments. It's ridiculous. Most people don't even understand what they were. I still can't decipher what he was saying. And on the busing situation, he was right about it, or at least not wrong about it totally, because there are people, even in the black community, who thought that busing might not be really that great for the black community. That's not a racist comment. I've been talking about that for a long time now. That's not a racist thing to say. In 1975, is a question whether or not busing is going to be good for the black community. And Joe Biden, actually, that was a time at a point in his life where he actually can talk and articulate things and put points together. And when you listen to him talk about it, as I played for you at the time it became a controversy, it made all the sense in the world. He basically said what you're doing is you're just taking away the anchor of the community, and you're shipping everybody out, and you're abandoning the community. That kind of stuff is what's been talked about in circles of very smart people, black people and white. It's not racist. But Kamala Harris decided to take that easy road there, unfortunately, because I told you before the debate, I told you Kamala Harris was going to be attacking him. I told you 2 months ago to watch out for her anyway. I told you that she would be I told you that she'd be the nominee. And that still might be happening. But 2 months ago, I told you Kamala Harris was going to be a formidable challenger if she ever breaks out to any degree. And I still believe, and my prediction basically was that she's going to be the nominee. And I believe that that's a strong possibility, especially after last night. But she's wrong about this. She was interviewed by Chris Matthews.
An amazing night in history, I thought, tonight. And I want to ask you about, I think you had to be there was the message I think Biden was trying to use to explain his behavior with the segregationist senators. But you were there.
I mean, why does Chris Matthews think it was a history-making night? Was it because of Kamala Harris's performance? I can't figure out why that was a night that made history. I don't know. I don't know how many people watched it, whatever. And maybe to a certain degree, in Democrat history, it was a night that made history. But I got to get to that in a second. I'll deal with that. But I want to get to our national anthem. I want to remain on time this morning because I've got a busy, busy morning. And your phone calls are welcome. Whatever you think about what you saw last night, 844-855-1380. The call, Tammy.com, real estate listener line. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
It's a pretty quiet start to our Friday morning rush hour. No accidents, no delays, but we do still have construction out there. Got a lot of that going on. Now, roadwork partially blocks the ramp from Hughes to eastbound 70, and that's until the end of the month, so you're talking about 2 more days. The on-ramp from St. Charles Rock Road to eastbound 70, that's closed with construction until late August. And the exit ramp from eastbound 70 to Madison, that remains closed with construction until the end of September. Same thing with the King Bridge. That's closed both ways with roadwork until September 30th. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
Had a really great chance to sit and have lunch with Bill and Sam and Ben Turek and Lori and everybody, and just kind of talk about Banner's future with the All in the Morning show, and what a great chance it is for us, this reunification, to really ratchet it up a little bit when it comes to Banner Construction's visibility. And they've been with me since the very beginning of the All in the Morning show, and I'm so proud to represent them. I'm so proud to talk about them. The home remodeling business is fraught with trouble usually, but Banner Construction just has this clean, beautiful record when it comes to performance, when it comes to their products. It's just amazing. They are just so top line, and yet their pricing isn't top line. And I guarantee you, I've had 3 projects done at my homes with them, and they've done a great job through and through. And I know that everybody else who's taken them up on it has received such great help and great service and great pricing and no hard sell. I also congratulated them on the fact that Pella Window now has chosen Banner as their preferred installer, their preferred seller of the windows. Now, here's Pella, which is this amazing brand. Everybody has heard about the Pella window, and by the way, they're beautiful windows, and the wood windows are fantastic. It's incredible. It's an incredible product. But the fact that they chose Banner to be the preferred installer and seller of their windows here, that's pretty amazing. That's a real badge of honor. And so the Pella Window Company and the James Hardy Fiber Cement Company, they're the preferred installer for one of the most luxurious, high-end, locked-down siding products you're going to find anywhere in the land. So check out with Banner Construction. We're going to have some deals coming up next week that we're going to introduce as well. But call them and get on the books and tell them thank you and for supporting All in the Morning and Free Conservative Radio. And I appreciate you calling them and telling you appreciate them too, because I think that's important. And I told them yesterday all day long how important they are to me and the All in the Morning show. So check it out, bannerconstruction.com, 314-569-1050. Call Banner and have a Banner day.
What is us?
Us is a foundation.
Us is the future.
Us is a bond. But right now, that bond is fraying.
And we need a place that could make it whole.
From diabetes prevention to safety around water.
The Y fills the gaps.
And bridges our divides.
But they can't do it without us.
Support your local Y today. Because where there's a Y, there's an us.
Read by members of the Y.
The Y, for a better us.
Allman here for a longtime Common Sense Radio supporter, Matthew Mitchell, the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency, 855-QUOTE-ME. Low premiums and low deductibles on your home, auto, and life, and I have all 3 of those policies with my good friend Matthew. Also, he's got some great deals for the young driver. You know how expensive it can be to insure them. He's got low premiums and low deductibles, even for your young drivers. 855-QUOTE-ME, 855-QUOTE-ME.
Staples is your back-to-school destination. Get all the supplies your child needs at incredibly low prices. Right now, Staples comp books and 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents each. In-store only, ends 8/3/19, limit 30 while supplies last. Staples.
Hey, want to talk with Jamie? Call 844-855-1380. 844-855-1380. And interact with Common Sense Radio. This is Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
All right, folks, I told you yesterday again, these aren't really hard predictions to make if you kind of just pay attention to what's going on. So a while back when I told you I thought Kamala Harris would be the nominee, I still stand by that. And I told you also yesterday that Kamala Harris would make a direct play for Joe Biden, and she did. And so, I think some of her criticism was wrongly placed, but she went right after him. Here you go. They're just John here. Oh, here, I got to turn my music down. Thank you, Phil. There we go. And there we go. Here we go.
I would like to speak on the issue of race.
And Kamala Harris has got to get rid of her little annoying thing. She's got to shake that thing. I'm here to speak, and you can't, it's like, okay, we're going to have enough of that really fast. I mean, we get it, but,
Senator Harris, and so what I will say is that I could preface this, we will give you 30 seconds since we're going to come back to you on this again in just a moment. Go for 30 seconds. Okay. So on the issue of race, I couldn't agree more that this is an issue that is still not being talked about truthfully and honestly. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative, a friend, or a coworker, who has not been the subject of some form of profiling or discrimination. Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I will say also that in this campaign, we have also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden.
I mean, you ready for another year of this? I mean, she's so much better than this. But I'm not going to give her any more. I got a break, so I can't play the rest of it. But she directly attacked Joe Biden. But are we ready for an entire campaign built around victimhood? I don't think so. But that might be just what the Democratic Party gets. 844-855-1380.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. One conservative political analyst says it was socialism in full bloom at last night's second Democrat presidential candidates debate. Among other things, Senator Bernie Sanders touting his Medicare for All plan while acknowledging it would require higher taxes. And every single candidate signaled support for free health care for illegal aliens. The G20 summit underway in Japan. A lot of attention, though, is being focused on tomorrow's planned meeting of Chinese President Xi and President Trump. Mr. Trump says despite reports to the contrary, he has not promised to hold off on new tariffs on Chinese imports. In a stunning rebuke of House Speaker Pelosi, the House approving the Senate's $4.6 billion humanitarian aid package to ease the crisis on the southern border. Dow futures up 40 points, NASDAQ futures down 1. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
It's a pretty quiet start to our Friday morning rush hour. No accidents, no delays, but we do still have construction out there. Got a lot of that going on. Now, roadwork partially blocks the ramp from Hughes to eastbound 70, and that's until the end of the month, so you're talking about 2 more days. The on-ramp from St. Charles Rock Road to eastbound 70, that's closed with construction until late August. And the exit ramp from eastbound 70 to Madison, that remains closed with construction until the end of September. Same thing with the King Bridge. That's closed both ways with road work until September 30th. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Rick Pogue here. Have you ever wondered exactly how hail forms or how it manages to grow to the size of golf balls, baseballs, or even larger? In a thunderstorm, strong updrafts lift water droplets so high into the atmosphere that they freeze. Once these tiny ice balls begin to fall, additional updrafts push them right back up, making them grow larger each time, until eventually they become too heavy, finally falling to the ground as large hail, and sometimes causing major damage to your home. After severe storms roll through the area and you're left to deal with the damage, call Arrowhead Building Supply Supply for the professional help you need. High winds and large hail can wreak havoc on a home's exterior very quickly, so never neglect or underestimate the possible damage left behind. Arrowhead is the preferred supplier to hundreds of quality contractor professionals who will treat your home just like their own. Don't leave your home's protection to just anyone. Our contractor customers are also our friends and partners. When severe weather hits, call Arrowhead Building Supply for relief. ArrowheadBuildingSupply.com.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
Pros do it right to save 5% more on eligible purchases every day just by using your Lowe's Business Credit account. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Subject to credit approval, cannot be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
Larry Elder, tonight at 5. Now, back to Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Yes, we will talk more about this Biden-Kamala Harris confrontation, and I think Republicans will benefit from, if she's the nominee, from her obsessing over race, which is unnecessary for her, unbecoming of her, but that's kind of her chosen tactic right now. And so we'll follow up more on that because she was hitting Biden quite a bit on that matter. And ultimately what happens is once you go over the top on things like that, you're even turning off members of your own party. And I think she did, even though she came out as the star of that show. So we'll follow up more on that. In the meantime, Jimmy Carafano, good morning this morning. Jim Carafano from the Heritage Foundation. Where are you, or is it a secret?
No, I'm back. I was in Warsaw in Poland, but I just got back.
Oh, wow.
I'm in America.
Oh.
Or, as we say, America.
Yeah, right. How is Poland, by the way?
I don't know. I was only there for like 24 hours, and all I really saw was the hotel. But
oh, right.
I guess it was great. Yeah.
Well, based on what
you know, so I have an observation on the debate.
Yes.
Even though I do policy, not politics. So, but it's not a political observation. I just thought it was really interesting that in the both debates, essentially everybody doubled down on the most radical immigration stance you could possibly have. I mean, that's almost a uniform consensus across all of them. And contrast that with what just happened in the Congress, where they tried to put a radical agenda into this funding bill for emergency funding for the border, and it just failed miserably.
Absolutely.
And so here you have in Congress just an absolute rejection of the radical agenda, and you have the people running for president absolutely embracing it. I mean, does anybody else pick up on that slight problem for the other side?
Well, it was so shocking because and here's how it went. They had a question for everybody, and can you push my
see. Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay.
So every single one of them did, and it got to the point where Right, and everybody cheered. And then Savannah Guthrie later apparently was so shocked that even Joe Biden raised his hand. She thought he didn't, and he had to correct her and say that he did. And it was just like, it was unbelievable.
So here you are, President Xi. You know, Jamie Xi. You're President Jamie Xi, and you listen to the Democratic debate, and you say, aha, I know exactly what I'm going to do. The day after the election, I'm going to send 20 million Chinese adults to America. They'll let them all in. They'll pay their health care. They'll make them citizens. I'll have them all move to swing states and then tell them how to vote, and I'll own America, and the Americans will pay for it. I mean, essentially what they did on that stage was give the world a green light to weaponize immigration. That basically anybody in the world can send anybody here they want to, and not only will we not oppose that we'll pay for it. That's a genius idea, don't you think?
Well, when I heard it, I was thinking to myself, I was wondering about all the people, and I'm not quite sure they were even watching, but I was wondering about all the people who are the poor of this country. And I realize even when you're poor in America, you're not all that poor comparatively. But I was thinking about all these people who either don't have health insurance or adequate health insurance or pay a lot of money for their health insurance and bust their butt for their health insurance. Listening to that, and hearing an entire panel of presidential candidates offering something for nothing to people who don't even live here, I just aren't even from here.
That's okay. But that's okay because they're going to give everybody here, something for nothing too. And so, essentially the platform is we'll give everybody everything they want and we'll have the rich pay for it. That's their platform. But here's the deal is does anybody really believe that that's true?
Well,
I guess the people that were applauding in the audience did.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm not even quite sure who those people were in the audience, but nonetheless, it's obviously they are all partisan. But it seems to me that the Democratic Party, especially when it comes to immigration, as you definitely pointed out with the reaction to the Pelosi move, that they're just not in congruence with the rest of mainstream America. I think just find that shocking.
I mean, it just sounded to me like a universal Ponzi scheme. But I wish them all the luck in the world with that. I think here's what we have on immigration, and again, it's not a partisan comment. And I think both sides have agreed to do this. There are black and white choices on immigration and border policy. I mean, there's no middle ground here. And I think Americans are going to be forced to choose. Either you want immigration laws and border security, or you want to throw the doors open. You decide. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think clear, concise choices are actually healthy. As opposed to on foreign policy, where essentially what they did was agree there's actually a bipartisan consensus in America that the Russians and Chinese are bad guys, and we have to do something about it. And what they basically said is, well, we'll do something. We'll just do better than he did, which is, for them is kind of a layup. I mean, of course, everybody in the audience is going to say, well, yeah, of course we're going to do it better than they did. But there is, I think when you actually get down to the practicality of foreign policy beyond the name calling, essentially what people will be offering is a version of Trump without the word Trump in it.
Yeah. Right. And now I know there are people who have been longtime skeptics of President Trump. And even they are saying, and this is about China now, even they are saying, man, if he winds up striking a deal with China, this is going to be a pretty big thing. This is going to be a major, major advancement. What's your take on that?
Well, I don't think he has to strike a deal with the Chinese. I think what he has to do is, in the process of dealing with the Chinese, he has to be very careful not to harm the U.S. economy. I mean, the two things I think that any incumbent president wants to achieve is solid economic growth and, not starting any new wars. And, I think he has to keep an eye on both those objectives. I'm there is no bigger critic of the president's tariff policy than me. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to use it as a hammer to get the other guys to behave. Not the tool I would use, but the president's smart enough and I think skilled enough to say that's a tool that he can, dial up and down whenever he wants. And so I think he's got the Chinese attention. If they might cut a deal, they might not cut a deal. But if they don't cut a deal, he can meter the temperature on the trade war, so it's not really impacting the economy through the election.
Yeah. All right, and then Iran. So what do you think is going to be happening here? That apparently has kind of either it's just kind of gone off of the news cycle a little bit, or we're just kind of playing a waiting game. I'm a little disappointed with the response of the rest of the world when Pompeo is asking for their help, but hopefully they will come around. I don't know. It just seems to me that some of them are still covetous of the Iran deal and don't want anything to happen to it. But we need them.
Well, look, I never thought we were escalating towards conflict. That's, I think, certainly been proven out. We're not. The U.S. has been really tough on the Iranians. That's working. I think, perversely, the Europeans have used that as an excuse to do nothing. Essentially, the Americans are being tough on the Iranians. We don't have to. So they can pretend, like they're doing something when they're not really, doing anything. And again, I think whether you're the Iranians or the Europeans, everybody's just marking time now to see if Trump's actually going to come back and they have to deal with him. So I think we are where we are. And it really is unconscionable that you have the Europeans talking about how they can help the Iranians bypass sanctions right when the Iranians attack international shipping, threaten to close a waterway that cuts off 50% of the world's oil, shoots down a NATO ally's aircraft in international airspace, and they do all that, and the response of the Europeans saying, "Okay, yeah, how can we help continue to do business?"
Yeah.
It's pretty unconscionable. Just like letting Putin come back into the Council of Europe, and then the next day he says, "Oh, these liberal governments are obsolete." Sometimes I think the Europeans are their own worst enemy. But here's the thing: is they know Trump now. They know Trump is not a threat. They know Trump is a solution. And you would think that they would all jump on the Trump train. But instead what they're doing is, well, if Trump's taking care of things, we can continue to be our annoying little selves. That's kind of what we get.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we just let them just have their little playground at all costs, and they take full advantage of it. I just think it's sad sometimes that I know we're always there when they need us, I feel, and no better example of that was than what we just experienced in early June in Normandy. But then you also have a situation where, we bail them out, we give them aid, and then President Trump goes overseas and gives a speech and famously leaves out Article 5, and then suddenly everybody's all over him because he didn't talk about Article 5 or whatever it was. And then we just ask for a little bit of their help, and they're not giving it to us. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I think in the end the Europeans will be there for us because it's in their interest to do that, and then we'll be there for them. But really, sometimes it's like raising a teenage daughter.
What does that mean? I just want to, because I have two. I've already raised one. I have two.
Okay, here, this is exactly what it means. So my teenage son came home one time. He says, "I hate you, you're stupid. I wish you were dead. What's for dinner?"
Oh, okay,
right?
gotcha.
All in one
okay.
sentence. Right?
Gotcha.
So, teenagers, they'll say anything, but at the end of the day, they always come home and want a warm meal.
No, okay, perfect. I perfect analogy, and my apologies if I missed. I was the minute you said teenage daughter.
You Yeah, I've been up since 3:00 this morning, man. You got to kind of you have to get in there.
I know. But the minute you said teenage daughter, because I already raised one and I have two more coming, and so I wanted to, if there was any advice to be taken from a little bit of that, I was gonna grab every ounce of it. So from the sage, Jim Carafano,
right? Which is they will when they become 26, you will become smart again, and they will love you.
Yeah, right. I think I've been experiencing that for sure. But, all right, really quickly, though, too, I want to go back to Poland because I love talking about Poland because I remember that fantastic speech President Trump gave in Poland. I know the Polish people love President Trump, and I know that Polish people put Poland first, and they are very proudly nationalistic. They love their country. And there's a reason why Poland is one of those gems of the East. And they don't have, a unfettered immigration problem, and they don't seem to have too many problems because they have all kind of stuck together, it seems.
Yeah, Poland is the most closely aligned country with the United States and Western Europe. And probably our one of our strongest bilateral relationship. So the Poles have been great. They're terrific. And I tell you, I was there and I was listening to a bunch of people from the farmers ministry, and they were smart. We're talking about China. These guys knew their business. Very, very skilled, professional people, really impressive. So we have a good ally there.
And they also have not secularized their country, and I just think it's a gem. And I love President Trump's speech over there. I thought it was one for the history books.
Hey, I got to run, but maybe we could trade them for Puerto Rico. Maybe we could do it.
that would be awesome. What a great idea. All right, Jimmy. Great talking to you. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week, brother. Or a weekend,
thanks
for
for
that
having
matter.
me.
All right, that is Jim Carafano he was traveling on Wednesday, so we really couldn't chat with him about that. We'll take your phone calls, too, 844-855-1380, and we'll talk more about the Democrat debate last night, and depending on what your point of view on the whole matter was, Kamala Harris emerging as I guess a leader or as one of the gems of the Democratic Party, and unfortunately for all the wrong reasons. And so we'll talk more about that as well. Bernie Sanders piped up, too. I don't want to miss him. And Mark Cation's going to be on a little after 7 to talk about that. And then we've got Doug Giles coming at 8:30 and Jim Talent coming at 7:30. 844-855-1380 to call Tammy.com, real estate listener line.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We've got one big problem right now, and that is 364 eastbound. You have an overturned vehicle blocking a right lane after Route K. We're not seeing any indication of delays yet, but that is certainly possible. Fog, still a possibility out there as well. Now we've got construction. That's the only other thing really going on right now. We've got the Dorset Midland Bridge over Lindbergh closed with construction until August 28th. And 100 westbound at 109. You've got roadwork in place there until 3. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
Dentistry with TLC, Dr. Anna Smith and her crew there in beautiful Godfrey, Illinois, ready to rock it for you on all levels. And she is so creative when it comes to dentistry. It's fantastic. Usually people dread going to the dentist. There are all kinds of things that seemingly make it a trip that you're always afraid to take. You don't like the drills. You don't like the pain. You know there's going to be pain. And you're sitting there and you're just feel like you're strapped to a chair getting worked on. But that's why the TLC is so important to Dr. Anna Smith, because she wants you to be comfortable. She wants you to be pain-free, that's for sure. And on all levels, she makes that happen. So comfort not only includes just simply pain-free, where you're getting a root canal without any pain. Comfort also means knowing that if you have some other thing going on in your mouth after you've already gotten one thing taken care of, that she'll take care of it while you're there. If you have signs of early gum disease, she'll nip that in the bud right away while you're still there, so you don't have to come back. She makes it easy for you to get in. If you go to dentistry.tlc.com, there's a phone number there. That number's a text number, and all you have to do is text your problem to her. You'll get a bounce back. They'll get you in within 2 days. It's amazing. She has a $19 plan for you, like an insurance plan for you, and she has the mouth appliances to resolve sleep apnea issues, and she's got the fastest teeth straightening program you're going to find anywhere. It's really pretty amazing, and I'm proud to stand up for Dr. Anna Smith and her crew there in Godfrey, Illinois, with dentistry.tlc.com. It's dentistry.tlc.com.
KXFN, St. Louis, K287BY, St. Louis.
So, you're getting ready to sell your house. You want it to look its best. You've gone through your checklist, almost ready, but wait. Does your home have curb appeal? If you're unsure, you should contact Michael Proctor of Proctor Drapery about shutters for your front-facing windows. Shutters have curb appeal, and they can go in any home. Shutters can change the whole look of the home. Give your home that curb appeal it needs by putting shutters in your front window. Blinds and shades do not make the same statement. Shutters are the new look for today. Michael Proctor specializes in Norman shutters. Have you seen the new modern look? Modern shutters have a wider louver and invisible style. So, whether it's traditional or modern, choose shutters for the new look today. Why wait? Schedule your in-home consultation with his mobile design unit. The one-on-one appointment will ensure the look is exactly what you need for your home. Contact Michael at proctordrapery.com. It's Proctor spelled like doctor.
Do it right to spruce up your outdoors by shopping Lowe's July 4 savings. You'll find great deals in store like 5 bags of premium mulch, now just $10. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in store only through 7/10 while supplies last. U.S. only, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, don't just listen to Allman in the Morning. See the show at theanswerstl.com. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to all of you. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, Phil was just remarking how actually good Joe Biden looked. And it's true. But I have to tell you, in all honesty, though, I don't disagree with you on that, Phil, but he almost looks like he's made up for a funeral. I'm not, and again, please know that I am not in any way, shape, or form a fan of hurrying somebody to the grave or talking about how old they are or that kind of thing. I don't want to be like drastically insulting, but the way that with HGTV these days, or HD TV, they have you can see everything. So people are really super overly made up. I mean, like the problem with HD TV is that you can see people more richly, more closely. But the problem with that is it forces them to wear makeup because you see every little line, every little thing, every little part of that. And what happens is that means they cover themselves with makeup then at that point. And so then you see only makeup. You know what I mean? Like you see caked on makeup on people, which I think isn't a very good look either. So that's what I meant by Joe Biden looking like he kind of was made up for a funeral, because you could just, I don't know, it just kind of seemed like it was, he had makeup caked up all over him. And he, with between the hair plugs and the face work and all that kind of stuff, they've done pretty good work preserving him to that degree. Does he get formaldehyde injections too? But but ultimately, though, what comes out of your mouth matters. And Biden's performance last night was dismal. And his demise was hurried by Kamala Harris, who was after him constantly. Her rise last night was expected. I told you a while back she'd be the nominee. But her rise was for all the wrong reasons. And one of them is seen in this confrontation with Joe Biden. And the problem is, Joe Biden is a lot of things in terms of his issues and in terms of disagreements and that kind of stuff, but he's not a racist. And even people who don't like Joe Biden and disagree with his policies are tired of everybody being called a racist by blacks around here. We're just sick of it. And Kamala Harris is a strong personality She's a former prosecutor. She's good looking. She's got a snappy voice. Why dwindle and throw that all away by being just this angry black chick calling everybody a racist? It doesn't work. I don't understand why you do that. You know, with the stage, with her outburst on the stage regarding, hey, as the only black woman on the stage, I want to be able to talk here. That was one thing, but then she went off on Biden and has this angry tone. And I know people who troll conservatives always like, oh, you're pulling the angry black chick thing. Well, yeah, kind of. And Kamala Harris is better than that. She has so much more going for her, and yet these politicians continually retreat to this calling everybody a racist thing. And that's going to turn most Americans off. They don't like being called racist. They don't like watching other people being called racist, especially for no reason.
Stage, I would like to speak on the issue of race.
I mean, this is, I can't tolerate another year and a half of this.
Senator Harris,
what I will say is that
if I could preface this, we will give you 30 seconds of this. We're going to come back to you on this again in just a moment. Go for 30 seconds.
Okay. So, on the issue of race, I couldn't agree more that this is an issue that is still not being talked about truthfully and honestly. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative, a friend, or a coworker, who has not been the subject of some form of profiling or discrimination. Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I will say also that in this campaign, we've also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden.
And I get 5 more seconds left, so I'll carry on with this as we get into Marcation in just a few minutes.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Did you check out the Democratic presidential candidates' debates? President Trump says he did.
I've been watching the debates a little bit in between meetings, and I wasn't impressed.
In last night's debate, every candidate signaled support for free health care for illegal aliens. Bernie Sanders touted Medicare for all while admitting it would require tax hikes. At the G20 summit in Japan, President Trump has met with Russian President Putin.
This was the first meeting between the two men since special counsel Robert Mueller concluded Russia extensively interfered with the 2016 campaign. A reporter asked President Trump if he would warn Putin not to meddle in the 2020 election. The president smirked, answered, "Of course," pointed a finger and dryly told Putin, "Don't meddle with the election." Putin laughed. President Trump said he enjoys a very, very good relationship with Vladimir Putin, and many positive things are going to come out of the relationship. I'm Ed Donahue.
And President Trump and Chinese President Xi scheduled to meet tomorrow in Japan. The Senate to vote today on the question of requiring the president to get congressional approval before taking any military action against Iran.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the point of the Udall amendment is that
Congress gets to approve or disapprove wars, period.
And though Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says
nobody's talking about a full-scale war with Iran.
Well, the president said he was 10 minutes away from a major provocation,
bombing 3 missile bases inside Iran.
And the president at one point said, in effect, we will smash Iran and blow it to smithereens or something to that effect.
The word obliterate was used.
People are talking about war.
Bob Agnew, Capitol Hill.
On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are higher. Dow futures up about 50 points. NASDAQ futures better by 6. S&P futures up 6 points as well. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Our problems are getting a little bit bigger in O'Fallon, where 364 eastbound is now blocked with that rollover after Route K. So you're looking at problems from after Bryan Road to past Route K with that problem. Otherwise, it's pretty much just road work out there. Still a little bit of flooding. Maryland Heights Expressway remains down to 1 lane both ways between Creve Coeur Airport Road and Creve Coeur Mill Road with that flooding. And we've got midday road work coming up today, 9 to 4 on eastbound 44 near 270. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Dana Lash.
That's the statist answer for everything. More government. Somebody's in need, more government. Oh, his lawn hasn't been mowed in a while? Well, instead of checking out what's wrong with him and seeing if we can help, we better put in a complaint to the city. That's everyone's first reaction. Even some people on the right. They've been lubed up by statism.
The Dana Show. Weekdays at 1 on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Opening soon, the most amazing and user-friendly home exterior showroom in the entire Midwest. Arrowhead Building Supply's new St. Peter's facility simplifies life when it comes to choosing your new home exterior. Our 7,000 square foot showroom features a full-sized home as its centerpiece to give you a full perspective. It also includes the Arrowhead Cube home visualizer, allowing you to see what different products and colors will look like on your actual home before selections are made. Our massive product display wall is 100 feet long and 28 feet tall with more than 50 different roofing, siding, and stone ideas on display. Take the elevator up to the second floor mezzanine and view our show home at roof level. Learn and understand how exterior systems work, such as proper ventilation, and why they are so important to your home's health. While upstairs, visit our beautiful entry door interactive display and make an educated decision for your home's next entryway. Meet your contractor here or just come on in. You won't believe your eyes. ArrowheadBuildingSupply.com.
Do it right to spruce up your outdoors by shopping Lowe's July 4 savings. You'll find great deals in store like 5 bags of premium mulch, now just $10. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in store only through 7/10 while supplies last. U.S. only, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning this morning, guys. I will preface some of my comments. I mean, a lot of people, and I'm not going to get too much into this, but Kaysen will understand this, and other people will. I am a white person who grew up in a predominantly black area. So I went to school where I was a minority. And so I had a lot of black friends. I ran for class president with a black friend of mine. We lost, but she was great. I still have a lot of black friends from high school, and one of my greatest mentors was Mr. Newsom, my baseball coach. And later it was Julius Hunter in the news business. And so I have a lot of black people who have been part of my life, which is why I'm not afraid of them when I talk about them. And white people who didn't grow up with black people or have exposure to black people, they're the ones who are always calling people racists all the time because you say something that sounds racist, but it's really not. It's just a fact. It's just the way it is. And so, and black people don't respect white people who are afraid of them or talk down to them or think that they need to be kid-gloved. And there are some black people who want to be kid-gloved, like Al Sharpton. You need to kiss his butt all the time, you know. And if you don't, then why? It's because I'm black? No, it's not, Al. It's you're just doing that because I'm black. I was like, no, Al, we're not. But so when I say this, I really don't care if somebody calls me a racist. And you can go on down whatever you want to do. But the Kamala Harris thing, I said early on, was going to be a thing. I thought that she was going to be, I still think she might be the nominee. The problem is this angry black chick getup isn't going to work. She's choosing the wrong tactic. It's going to turn people off. I believe the origin of it comes from her overcompensating for the fact that she's got a white husband, and she's been critiqued for that. So last night's obsession with race and her wrong attacks on Joe Biden are a result of her trying to aggrandize herself with the black community. She's trying to get her black badge, her official black badge, which unfortunately people mistakenly believe is necessary to get by calling everybody racist. Only a select few black leaders in this country deal in that kind of currency. But they're important. You know, they're anchors in the news, and they're Al Sharptons, and they're people like that. So Kamala Harris, unfortunately, was pandering last night to a black community. She thinks she has to earn their support. And so that's why she made attacks on Joe Biden that were way out of line, way overdone. Here, I'll let her keep going with her thing here.
I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually...
And the thing is, I do not believe you are a racist is a lie, because what she's doing now is she's going to try to approach him and make him apologize. Then she'll call him a racist for not apologizing for comments about segregation or busing. So, yeah.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
I mean, this is way overdone. And unfortunately, sadly enough for Kamala Harris, it's unnecessary. She doesn't have to do this. She could have, I'll tell you what, when she starts talking about the economy or national security or whatever, she could have just run away with a thing. Instead, what she did was she went after a guy who is well loved by Democrats. I mean, for all of his faults, Joe Biden is actually a well-loved person. He was vice president under President Obama for 8 years. This guy has very little to apologize for when it comes to race. But she decided that was going to be her thing, and she was going to dismantle this guy on stage. And what's happening is we don't care. We're conservatives. We don't really care. But if you're a Democrat, you've got this angry woman going after one of your people and calling them a racist for all the wrong reasons. That's not going to help her within her party.
And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. Okay, that sounds like Michelle Obama. That little whine in your voice, that little, you know, kind of like that fake talk cry. You know, that Michelle Obama, I can't imitate it. I have to work on that a little bit, but you know what I'm talking about. This is unnecessary and unbecoming of a woman like Kamala Harris. I mean, come on, girl. You could do so much better than this, but you pulled the ripcord on the race deal. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you.
This is unfair to do to Joe Biden. I mean, far be it from me. I just talked about how he was one step into the grave, but far be it from me to defend him. But this is unfair. Mark Cason's on the line. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Mark. Good morning this morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're not quoting. You're not quoting Che Guevara, are you these days?
You know, I love Che Guevara.
Oh, Lord.
In fact, I've got I've got a guy coming on the air to talk about Che Guevara. I wrote a book about him. But,
Oh, Lord.
No, I love Che.
Okay.
Yeah, Che's one of my heroes.
Oh,
so
you got to be kidding me.
No,
okay.
absolutely.
All right, let me save you from yourself here. So what'd you take of what I was saying here with Kamala Harris?
You are so close to being in agreement with me that it's really sad. The one thing I heard you say this morning, and I really cringed when you said it, but I was thinking not those words, but I was thinking exactly the same thing, and that is when you said glue factory. Oh, God, that was it was really unfortunate, but it's so close to true
for Joe
based
Biden.
on what we heard last.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on what we heard last night. That's sad. So, getting away from that. Well, I've always lately said that I was for Biden because I thought we would have Biden and Harris, which would in effect be electing Harris. But that's probably not even going to work here because, unfortunately, what he did last night, he can't. If he ever does it again, it's his last day in the race. He may not. I don't know. It was horrible.
Yeah, he was bumbling, and he didn't know half the time where he was. It seemed, and then he was asked what the first thing he'd do once elected president. That would be defeat Donald Trump, and it just was a mess. But again, on the subject of Kamala Harris and him, though, this was for the Democratic Party. This was not a good look because you can criticize Joe Biden for his bumbling and mumbling and whatever and his age and his old school nature, but you have to also understand that Democrats like him, and so for Kamala Harris to come on there and suddenly she's the black Pippi Longstocking who was menaced by the great evil white man Joe Biden. To me, is just is not necessary for her to do. I happen to think she's a smart woman. She's dangerous for many reasons, and yet she makes herself less dangerous when she comports herself in this manner on the national stage, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, she won't do this anymore. She did this because the only other alternative for going after Biden would have been to do the glue factory thing, and she couldn't do that.
Yeah,
that would have been So this was her alternative. It wasn't good, and I agree with you. That's why I say I'm close to an agreement with you on a lot of things because it's not fair to say that Joe Biden is even anything close to racist, and she didn't say that, by the way. She said he's not a racist, and I wish we'd stop even using the word racist.
Okay,
because everybody thinks it means something else.
But what she did was I know, but what she did, Mark, was she counted on the double box, and she knew she was going to do the double box thing, and there'd be Joe Biden looking at her while she talked about how she was a little girl going to school and being bused, and mean old Joe Biden was a segregationist, anti-busing guy. And so and again, you and I have talked about this, the busing and its effects. It was not a foregone conclusion, even in the black community, that busing was a positive move, that busing was really going to help the black community. And if you listen, I guess I should go and try to find it again. If you listen to Joe Biden's comments in 1975, they were articulated very well. They were articulated from a position of defense of the black community, not offense to the white community. And so he was very straightforward about what he thought the damage that busing might do to the black community. And blacks even think that, and actually blacks even know that actually that wound up being actually the result. That black communities, many of them, the schools were abandoned, communities lost their anchors, mainly because of busing.
There's a lot of truth in that, although busing did save many kids. And let me tell you that even today, these DSEG programs are really a savior for black kids who otherwise would go to inner city black schools that are only treated the way they are by the states because they're black
Yeah, I
and
get
because
that.
of systemic racism in this country.
Well, yeah, I get that there was that danger that the urban communities would be suffering, but keep in mind too, even if you look at the St. Louis public school system, Mark, it's actually even too wealthy to receive lottery money. So I mean, it's not like they're not spending a lot of money on students in the inner city right now. I mean, the state spends a ton per student in the inner city, so I don't think they're being discriminated against by any stretch.
Well, they are, and this is a conversation for another day, but I can say this, and I want to say this name. Because we've had this discussion with Eric, that Eric Greitens, one of the things that he wanted to do and still intends to do is to work furiously to revive that inner city school district that we've got here, and really that's something that's necessary because the money is not being spent the way you think it is, and those kids are being devalued in ways that are horrific.
Che Guevara, huh? So, Che Guevara, do you know what he was a murderer, and who he murdered a lot of? He murdered a lot of gays. He didn't like gays. I don't know how you people on the liberal end keep wearing your Che Guevara shirts and quoting him all the time. I don't understand that.
Well, that's a funny thing, because if you go into any mall in the United States, any mall, you can go right here. I'm right now in Chesterfield. You can walk into Chesterfield Mall and walk into a T-shirt store, and the first T-shirt you're going to get is Che Guevara, which is so funny because the kids don't even know what they're buying.
No, I
but
know.
They do buy those shirts.
I know. It's ridiculous.
So it's funny that he's a hero. But look, here's the thing. If the United States government is trying to kill you hundreds of times, which they did to Castro and Guevara, then you understand why they had to kill back. It's just like you love guns because you're not going to let anybody kill you, and neither would Guevara. That's the way it is.
Well, I understand that, but he also turned his murderous actions onto a group of people that were already oppressed. I mean, he was not exactly, that's why I saw some tape of a guy who was wearing a Che Guevara shirt at a gay pride parade, and some guy called him out and was like, "What are you doing wearing a Che Guevara shirt at a gay pride? No one has killed more gays in the history of the world than Che Guevara." I will have to tell you, on my banner here, and the only reason you can't see it is because Mark Kason's picture's up there, but people have seen it before on that banner that Phil put together, I have this T-shirt, and it's the Viva la Reagan Revolution, and it's that silkscreen look that the Che Guevara shirt is, but it's Reagan. So it's pretty cool. I love wearing that because it really flies in the face of most people. I saw a guy wearing a Che Guevara shirt touring the Vatican. It's unbelievable. All right. Well, I'll look for.
Interestingly enough, tonight at 3:30, I have the president of the St. Louis Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So maybe I'll ask him what he thinks about Che.
Oh, I thought you were. So what about the guy who wrote the book?
No, that guy's coming later. He's on vacation right now.
Okay. So, I mean, there. You guys can see it. Well, if you're on the thing there, it's blinking now. It's funny. Anyway, if you're not on there, you know what I'm talking about. All right, Mark, so 3:30 today. What's the website again, please, sir?
TalkSTL.net.
Okay, buddy. Well, listen, thanks a ton.
You got it.
And we'll talk to you later. That's Mark Kason. It's Common Sense Radio.
Live from the Arrowhead Building Supply Studio, this is Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, flooding is still an issue in a couple of spots. We still have 67 down to one lane in both directions between 94 and the Clark Bridge in West Alton. And in Maryland Heights Expressway still reduced down to one lane each way between Creve Coeur Airport Road and Creve Coeur Mill Road because of flooding. We've got midday work coming up today. Road work on from 9 to 4 on eastbound 44 near 270. And the Dorset Midland Bridge over Lindbergh, that remains closed with construction until late in August. And that's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
Matthew Mitchell and the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. 855-QUOTE-ME is the number there. And I will tell you right off the bat that most insurance companies have a plan. This is how they stay in business, because you're thinking, boy, why would an insurance company even want to get in the business? Because they're paying people when they have problems, and very few businesses survive just by paying people. They actually want to take people's money. But the reality is, in the insurance business, it's a racket. It's a game you can play. So what you do is you take the premiums. People pay premiums to be insured, but then you jack up the deductibles. And when you do that, you're getting the money. But then when the people make the claims because they think they're being insured, you don't pay them because the deductible's so high. And that's how insurance companies get rich. Let me tell you something about how the Allstate Agency has gotten rich, so to speak. They've gotten rich by providing full service, great service, administered by people like Matthew Mitchell and his team that have amassed 70 years in the business. And so, folks, I'm telling you, this is great because you get low premiums, low deductibles. That's why they have so many customers, because people are on to how they are amazing and some of the other people aren't so much. Car insurance, home insurance, 16-year-old driver programs that aren't going to break the bank, life insurers as well. It's the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. 855-QUOTE-ME.
Let's face it, things happen in our daily life that may get us off track. Tooth pain and aches can happen when we least expect them. Get back on track with a visit to Dr. Anna Smith of Dentistry with TLC. Dr. Anna prides herself on helping patients when it's convenient for them, even during lunch hours, and always providing a judgment-free office. Dr. Anna Smith with Dentistry with TLC is here to help. Need a root canal? Dr. Anna can perform the procedure in about 10 minutes and get you back on the road. Have sleep apnea? While you're there, talk to Dr. Anna about an oral appliance to help you get a better night's sleep and feel well rested the next day. Dr. Anna Smith with Dentistry with TLC, located in Godfrey, Illinois. Call today at 618-466-0733. That's 618-466-0733. Or visit dentistrywithtlc.com to learn the TLC difference. That's dentistrywithtlc.com.
Quit eating burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Fresh, juicy beef smashed till it's crispy around the edges, covered in gooey cheese, and stacked to the ceiling with deliciousness. Follow your instincts to Buffalo Wild Wings for the new All-American Cheeseburger.
Joe Walsh, tonight at 8. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Coming up, Jim Talon, and at 8:30, we've got Doug Giles going in. More of the debate coverage and your phone calls as well. Elena, hang on the line. I want to get to a good friend of mine who happens to be on the line, too. His name is Rick Pogue. Yes, yeah, you know about Rick Pogue. You hear his velvety voice on some of the ads for Arrowhead Building Supply. He's been a longtime supporter of the All in the Morning brand. What a great company. Can't wait for the official grand opening of that gigantic showroom out there in St. Peter's, which is impressive. And I've told you the story about the Pogues. They are enjoying this economy right now. They expanded to Discovery Design, Truck Care, and Manufacturing. And Rick, the Warrior, is on the line with me right now. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Good morning, my friend. How are you? It's the notorious, mysterious Rick Pogue. That's usually confused.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, well, by the way, what'd you think about that debate last night?
I watched. You know me, Jamie. I love to listen to the other side. Okay.
Yeah.
And I listen to as much as I can stand to listen to. I missed the whole Kamala Harris racist attack on Biden, but I watched about 25 minutes of that. And I watched the part of the debate before the night before as well. I only caught the last 10 minutes, but I have the display of ridiculousness between these two debates. I was stunned. I did a couple Facebook posts on it and stuff, but these people are lost. It's basically an infomercial for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
If you really look at it the right way. I mean, you listen to some of the things these people are saying and what they're wanting to do with – they come right out and tell you. They used to try and hide, that the fact that they want to raise your taxes and take your freedoms away and all. They don't even hide it anymore. They just come right out and say it.
Yeah, even Joe Biden was talking about how he's going to raise taxes. It's incredible. So it was fun watching everybody's hair on fire on these stages the last two nights because it just was like they fell into the trap that we wanted to fall into, which is talking about what they're going to do. So thanks for warning us, guys.
It's incredible, and they all out-left each other. They try to out-left each other. I'm going to raise your taxes. I'm going to raise taxes on the wealthy only. Well, I'm going to have to raise taxes. At least Bernie Sanders is honest about it.
Yeah,
I'm going to
right.
raise taxes on everybody
Right.
to pay for this stuff, and that still won't be enough money.
I think my favorite part of the whole week was when they started. One spoke Spanish, Beto spoke Spanish, then the other ones all were forced to speak Spanish. It was the craziest thing, and Julian Castro, of course, saying, "Oh, no, I not only want abortion, I want abortion also for people who can't get pregnant, like transgendered women." It's unbelievable.
I mean. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. They're talking about. They had everybody. I love it when they have them raise their hands. So who on the stage would be willing to provide health care to illegal aliens? Is the correct term, by the way.
Yeah.
And everybody raises their hand. It's like wow.
Yeah, it's like thank you so much. It will be the gift that keeps on giving. All right, here's the deal though. But I wanted to get your opinion about all of this, but I have to take a break because actually I want to talk about Rick's business, and Rick wants to talk about it too because apparently this economy is going so swimmingly that these guys are now hiring over at Discovery Design Truck Carrier Manufacturing. So Rick wanted to talk about that. So do you mind hanging on, or can we call you back in about 3 or 4 minutes?
I don't mind at all, buddy. Whatever you prefer.
Okay, man. Just
problem.
we'll call you back so you have to sit there on your cell for so long. We'll call you right back. And Helena, you hang on the line too. And Jim Talent's on the way as well. This is Common Sense Radio, 844-855-1380.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. President Trump says he checked out the Democratic presidential candidates' debates and he was not impressed. Last night, every candidate signaled support for free health care for illegals. Bernie Sanders touting Medicare for all while acknowledging it would require tax hikes. At the G20 summit in Japan, President Trump has met with Russian President Putin, admonishing Putin not to meddle in U.S. elections. President Trump and Chinese President Xi scheduled to meet tomorrow in Japan with hopes two leaders can make progress resolving the U.S.-China trade dispute. The Senate will vote today on an amendment that would require President Trump to get congressional approval before taking any military action against Iran. On Wall Street, Dow futures are up 58 points, NASDAQ futures 8 points higher, S&P futures up 7. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, flooding is still an issue in a couple of spots. We still have 67 down to one lane in both directions between 94 and the Clark Bridge in West Alton. And in Maryland Heights Expressway still reduced down to one lane each way between Creve Coeur Airport Road and Creve Coeur Mill Road because of flooding. We've got midday work coming up today, road work on from 9 to 4 on eastbound 44 near 270. And the Dorset Midland Bridge over Lindbergh, that remains closed with construction until late in August. And that's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
I was absolutely so pleased to be able to check out my friend Darren from Rhino Shield, because I got to tell you, Rhino Shield has been legendary in my mind, because I've been hearing them so much on the radio and they've been, and Darren is kind of a mini celebrity and everything else. And so when they offered to go ahead and support free conservative radio and Common Sense Radio, I jumped at it, because actually Darren and my kids, they swim together, but on different teams, so we'll see each other at meets or whatever else. So Darren is a good guy, family man here, started Rhino Shield and turned it into just an absolutely great, bustling business with great employees. And so St. Louis in all his life, just a great guy, and really appreciate the fact that he's supporting the show. But more importantly for you, he's doing some really good work for your home, for your business, for your vacation on whatever. Rhino Shield has a 25-year transferable warranty. It's 100% waterproof. It creates a shell around your house, deflecting 90% of the UV rays. It cures 8 to 10 times thicker than paint. And they have thousands of installs all over the St. Louis area, whether it be on businesses in their roofs, whether it be on people who have exposed brick and don't want to do anything but preserve it and make sure it looks good. Rhino Shield is the perfect answer to that deal. And they've been featured on This Old House and on Curb Appeal a couple of times. And this is a great deal for you, because this is the Allman in the Morning Blues Appreciation Endorsement Special. And so you're getting 15% off your next Rhino Shield project. And Darren and his crew are ready to get things going. They get the job done quickly. I constantly get new pictures sent to me from Darren about their latest projects. And so, he'll show me a picture of a warehouse. He'll show me a picture of the roof on a building on a hog farm, for crying out loud, or an exposed brick home in Kirkwood. Great work. Rhino Shield's a great product, and it's a 25-year transferable warranty. So I want you to go ahead and check them out at 877-25-RHINO. That's 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
So, you're getting ready to sell your house. You want it to look its best. You've gone through your checklist, almost ready, but wait. Does your home have curb appeal? If you're unsure, you should contact Michael Proctor of Proctor Drapery about shutters for your front-facing windows. Shutters have curb appeal, and they can go in any home. Shutters can change the whole look of the home. Give your home that curb appeal it needs by putting shutters in your front window. Blinds and shades do not make the same statement. Shutters are the new look for today. Michael Proctor specializes in Norman shutters. Have you seen the new modern look? Modern shutters have a wider louver and invisible style. So, whether it's traditional or modern, choose shutters for the new look today. Why wait? Schedule your in-home consultation with his mobile design unit. The one-on-one appointment will ensure the look is exactly what you need for your home. Contact Michael at proctordrapery.com. It's Proctor spelled like doctor.
Enjoy comfort year-round with a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, they test so it runs. For a limited time, you can get a great deal on a qualifying new Train system. Visit traininfo.com to find your local dealer. That's traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Listen to Allman in the Morning with Alexa. Wake up and say, Alexa, play The Answer St. Louis. Now, back to Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Neighbor's pool that felt nice. It felt so nice. And it was getting dark. You wrapped your long legs around me. I held on tight. Lying in my bed. The unfamiliar sheets were so cool. On your skin.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Pogue back with us. And Rick, first of all, man, do we have a date set on the actual official rollout of the just amazing St. Peter's showroom?
Yeah, and amazing. You're right. It is amazing. And yeah, we are. Final inspection is mid-July. It's in less than 3 weeks.
Awesome, man.
And yeah, we're going to have a big grand opening event in September, and I'll get that information to you.
Oh,
we're going to wait a couple months. You want to work all the little tiny bugs out and all that.
Yeah. Well, I love talking about that because it's so emblematic of you and Jerry and the rest of the gang's passion for going big or staying home, and you guys go big. And this one is big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
thank you. There isn't a showroom like this anywhere in the Midwest for sure.
Yeah, it's great. 7,000 square feet, huh? That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So Discovery Design Truck Care and Manufacturing, you guys opened that, I guess, about a year and a half ago, or maybe I'm mistaken. But anyway, the business is great, and it's another example of where Rick and Jerry and the rest of the gang felt secure enough to go ahead and get into a brand new endeavor. So that's going pretty well then, huh?
It's going well. It's growing. We're always looking for new customers. There's a lot of things happening there. I mean, we're building delivery trucks for even for competitors, because competitors of Arrowhead, I should say, because we build the best delivery systems in the entire country. We've been doing it for 40 years, actually. So, as you know, Arrowhead has a big fleet, and we've always had a great fleet care. And we just, as you say, we spun that off into another business a couple years ago. And now they're in that incredible new facility right behind the brand new facility for Arrowhead. And we are definitely hiring. And I want to say real quick, we're looking for diesel mechanics. We're looking for experienced diesel mechanics, and we are hiring right now. We're looking for a service writer. Service writer, that job, they interface with the customers. They assign work orders to mechanics. They manage the jobs and communicate. They're kind of the face of the company there, and it's a very important role. So we're looking for a service writer with specializes in diesel engines, and we're also looking for some diesel mechanics.
Wow.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, that was about to say. So that must be another emblem of you all kind of enjoying this budding economy.
Absolutely, and it's all over the place. We see signs of it everywhere. Home building is up. People who aren't buying homes, they're taking that extra tax money and they're investing in their home and remodeling. It's funny. You see a lot of posts about people saying, "Well, I didn't get as much back in taxes," and I'm like, "You didn't pay as much. That's why you don't get as much back." So,
right. Yeah, that's kind of the point too. I mean, even Joe Biden continues on with this whole idea that these tax cuts only help the wealthy, but even the Washington Post is revealing that the average incomed American got like more than $1,000 back. So I don't know what they're talking about there and reinvesting it. So Discovery Design, now you guys also do your roofing vehicles are awesome because you always dress those things up. You have a Blue Lives Matter truck, and what's the other one you have?
We have the long loader. We call it the long loader.
Yeah.
It's the longest truck-mounted roofing conveyor in the entire country. That is the veterans truck.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's all decked out in camo, and it's got a soldier saluting, and it's really cool.
So now are you guys going to be in any – because sometimes you guys pop up in July 4th parades, Independence Day parades.
Yes. Yeah, we're not in the O'Fallon parade this year, but we are going to be in the Troy, Missouri parade, and I believe both trucks will be in that parade.
Nice.
And I don't know the dates, but it's coming up pretty soon.
You guys can have your own.
In July.
You guys can have your own parade.
July 4th.
Yeah, you guys should just have your own parade down the service road there.
We just about could, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you letting me take time to do that. If I could, I'd like to give out a contact.
Yeah,
maybe a contact
please do.
for
Yes.
somebody who's interested in those jobs.
Yeah.
You can call 636-922-9333. So 636-922-9333. You can ask for Quentin. He's our general manager there. Or you can just get a hold of our HR director directly. His name is Aaron Cole, C-O-L-E. Aaron C. at VGIMidwest.com.
All right, great.
It's Victor Go Indigo. Venture Group Investments, VGIMidwest.com.
Nice. And then if some people didn't have a chance to write all that down, I guess technically you could just go to Arrowhead Building Supply or Discovery Design's website and call and just get some direction that way too. So, all right, buddy. Well, thanks.
Yeah, you can call any Arrowhead and get hooked up with Discovery Design. Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good, man. And thank you so much for making this country great again with you, Arrowhead Building Supply, Discovery Design, Truck Care and Manufacturing, and just being an active participant in our economy. It's fantastic. So we all benefit from that. And thank you, Rick. Appreciate it, buddy.
It's an absolute joy, my friend. Thank you for all you do. It is so nice to hear you on the radio again.
Oh man, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate your support. And even when I was off the terrestrial radio, you guys stepped up with Discovery Design, and I just can't thank you enough for your support, brother. Thank you.
You bet, buddy. Thank
All right,
you.
that is Rick Pogue. Helena's on line 1. Helena, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, and I want to thank you for being so kind to the Polish people when you mentioned about Poland and how Poland is supportive of United States, because Poland has a constitution, the same thing as America.
Yes, no doubt about that. And are you?
And this is why, but besides that, I'm really upset with you spending 1.5 hours on Kamala Harris. There were other people, and you are promoting her, and she's the greatest socialist. She is Hillary Clinton light.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't exactly say I was promoting her. If you listen to it, that was not. If that's promotion, I'm not. But, I know what you're talking about.
You are a very good salesman. You're a very good salesman.
Yeah.
You are, and you're selling. People don't pay attention. You're just selling that she's going to be the next running against our president, Trump, and people already say, well, I guess she is. You don't understand that you are very powerful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not afraid of any. I'm not afraid of any of those guys. So.
I know you're not, but I mean, the American public is not so savvy as you are. This is why we're listening to yesterday. That was a joke. I mean, we saw so much. And to me, they didn't even look like American citizens. I thought they were.
Yeah.
I thought the O'Rourke was running for president of Mexico.
Yeah, right.
People,
no, I know. I'm totally with you. All right, Helena, thanks for calling. All right, I appreciate you very much. Thanks for calling.
Good luck to you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
dear. Thank you so much. So let's go now to Jim Talent. I think I wasn't really. I don't know. I mean, there were other candidates there. You want to hear from? Here, I'll play another candidate for you. You want to hear from another candidate? How about Marianne Williamson? You know what her plan is to defeat Trump? I think I hope she gets the nomination. Here.
Ms. Williamson, 45 seconds for your closing
I'm sorry we haven't talked more tonight about how we're going to beat Donald Trump. I have an idea about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not going to be beaten just by insider politics talk. He's not going to be beaten just by somebody who has plans. He's going to be beaten by somebody who has an idea what this man has done. This man has reached into the psyche of the American people, and he has harnessed fear for political purposes. So, Mr. President, if you're listening, I want you to hear me, please. You have harnessed fear for political purposes, and only love can cast that out. So sir, I have a feeling you know what you're doing. I'm going to harness love.
She's going to harness love. That's going to be a fantastic campaign. So go, Here, Helena, I'll promote Marianne Williams as the next Democratic nominee because she's going to harness love, and I can't wait to see that roll out. Jim Talent. Good morning. Thanks for your patience. I had some heavy traffic this morning, brother. How you doing?
Well, I'm fine. That's an interesting intro.
Yeah.
Speaking of harnessing love, here's Jim Talent.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
By the way, it took them 30 minutes to get to Marianne Williamson last night. They didn't even call on her for a half hour before that thing happened. So
she did better than Yang did, though. I mean, how many minutes did Yang get the whole night? It was like 3 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, does someone like Jim Talent, do you watch these through and through, or do you just kind of catch up on the aftermath?
No, I don't. I often give it a miss originally and then go back and look at the clips that people think are important or watch a part of it to get the flavor of it.
Yeah.
So today, and just for you, Jamie, I've been reading all the stories about it, in particular in the left of center outlets, because I think that's pretty important. HuffPost has Kamala takes command, riveting, powerful moment of the night. Harris tears into Biden on segregation busing. So that seems to be the major takeaway, doesn't it? That she went after Joe. I think they underestimated Biden a little bit. I thought his response at the end about, what's the first thing you're going to do? Defeat Donald Trump. Now, granted, it's kind of dumb but what he's really trying to do there is to repeat his message that that he can win, which is probably his most powerful message. So even though it was stupid that in context, he was going back to his song sheet.
Yeah, and I said this earlier, and that's why I don't know how Helena saw this as a promotion of Kamala Harris, but I said I had the opposite view of her appearance last night, and I thought it was a debacle for decency, and because I honestly, for all of Joe Biden's faults, the one thing he is not is a racist. And even though she said that she doesn't think he's a racist, she might as well have, because she talked about his comments about segregationists and about busing. And if you actually listen to what he had to say about those two aspects, he was not he wasn't questioning busing because he didn't like black people or wanted to keep black people separate. He was worried about its effect on the black community. There are many black members of the community who felt the same way at the time. And the segregationist thing, he was completely taken the wrong way. And so I thought I don't think she needed to do that to him. I thought that it was really a crass thing for her to do. I actually do think she's better than that. And I think some Democrats had to be turned off by that, watching Joe Biden get unfairly obliterated for comments that really were completely taken out of any kind of context, I thought.
Well, that's right. I mean, it was, and the irony of that is, of course, she's been attacked for things she did, and a lot of those attacks were also without context. I don't mean last night so much, right? I'm not, defending her at all. I'm just saying that, yeah, I agree with that. But again, you got a strategy. Everybody who plans for these things intelligently has a strategy, which is not what necessarily appears from the surface of what they're doing. So her strategy is to emerge as the alternative to Biden, okay? Because, as you know, in the early stages of these things, what you want is to carve out a lane that you own. And if you carve that lane out and you own it, and it's more than 1 or 2% of the vote, then what that means is number one, you can raise money easier, and number two, you've really helped ensure that you're going to get past the initial primary. So that's what she was trying to do, and I think she did that effectively, not fairly, but fairness doesn't have a lot to do with these things.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think unfortunately what you saw there in that behavior was a person who's been accused of not being black enough, so to speak. And so she kind of tried to reverse the course there by pandering a little bit, and that was the shame of it. But all of them, though, seemingly fell into the trap that we like them to fall into, and that is to expose themselves as individuals who seemingly put a higher priority on helping illegal aliens than they do regular run-of-the-mill Americans. And that had to turn a ton of people off. I can't even imagine a Democrat thinking it's a good idea for everybody to advocate that illegal aliens get free health care in this country. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
I agree. I mean, I think that they felt well, first of all, I don't know who really believes that and who doesn't, but I think they felt like they all had to raise their hands. And, that's a moment that's probably going to come back to hurt whoever emerges. I agree with you on that. It was not a good look for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, if you had to guess, who do you...
I don't like these raise hands questions, by the way.
I know.
Fortunately, when I was in politics, that hadn't really hit the scene yet. I think if I was around today, I would announce beforehand that, I'm not doing the raised hands thing, that I'm happy to answer questions, but that's just it's impossible to explain or give any context in that kind of a situation. I don't like it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's a cheap way to get content from the networks, and I think you're right. I think the politicians shouldn't play it. I don't like these debates are unfair to a lot of them when they say they have like, okay, you have 35 seconds or in one word answer this, and it's like, well, come on. I mean, that's not real discussions, and I think it actually, in spite of the fact that I disagree with most of these folks, I think it's demeaning to make them articulate a position in one word. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, and it's not a good measure of the skills that you need to be president. I'm not even sure it's a good measure of the skills you need to get elected. I mean, if Dwight Eisenhower had to explain himself in 60 seconds, I mean, he couldn't have been. If you ever read the transcripts, I guess they probably have some video of his press conferences. I mean, he often sort of lapsed into incoherence. He's a pretty good president. I mean, the skills the job requires don't often include that. Now, in given what's happened with the press today, it's more important, I think, to be able to do that when you're dealing with them in certain contexts. But, basically, it just isn't what makes a successful president.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, Jimmy. Well, good. Thanks for your patience this morning as we were winding our way through traffic, and really appreciate you joining us as you do every Friday. And I hope you have a great weekend, buddy.
Hey, same to you.
All right, that is Jim Talent. Your phone calls are welcome. Call Tammy.com real estate listener lines 844-855-1380. This is Common Sense Radio.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We're seeing our first delays of the morning. We've got a slow spot on 6440 eastbound between Clarkson Olive and Timberlake Manor, and McKnight to Big Bend. You'll see a slight delay there as well. 55 westbound, Route 3 to the 5544 underpass, backing up just a little bit there. Now, flooding still an issue in a couple of spots. Maryland Heights Expressway remains down to one lane in both directions between Creve Coeur Airport Road and Creve Coeur Mill Road. And we've got midday road work today, 9 to 4 on eastbound 44 near 270. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
Good morning this morning. How about the MyPillow, people? You get 2 for the price of 70 bills from Mike Lindell and his team there when you use the promo code Jamie. And on top of that, you're also going to get the beautiful Giza Dream Sheets, 30% off of these sheets when you use the promo code Jamie, mypillow.com/Jamie. It's really a great product, the sheets as well as the pillows, and they're comfortable, they're cool, and they're like the kind of things you find in a hotel, the pillows as well as the sheets. But you can have them in your own bedroom when you use the promo code Jamie, mypillow.com/Jamie.
KXFN St. Louis, K287BY St. Louis.
Rick Pogue here to tell you that real beauty is on the outside. I'm referring to your home, of course. We all want the most attractive home on our block with the very best curb appeal. Presenting the Outside Elegance Collection by Arrowhead Building Supply. Simply put, Outside Elegance is your answer to giving your home that luxurious appearance without the huge price tag. Arrowhead's Outside Elegance Collection features all those products you've dreamed about having on your home but never thought you could afford. Products like metal roofing that looks just like shingles, slate, or tile with a lifetime warranty. Composite slate roofing that looks just like the real thing at a fraction of the cost. James Hardy fiber cement siding with the beauty of wood but the strength of cement. LP Smart Side engineered wood siding with the look and feel of authentic wood siding but also a 30-year finish. Provia manufactured stone. Yes, you can afford stone on your home as well. We have many colors and profiles available. If you need a contractor, Arrowhead services the very best professionals. Visit our incredible showroom near you or call and request a free catalog. Our home's appearance says a lot about who we are. Now is the time to make a bold statement. ArrowheadBuildingSupply.com.
Pros do it right to save 5% more on eligible purchases every day just by using your Lowe's Business Credit Account. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Subject to credit approval, cannot be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
Arc Midnight with John B. Wells. We can't describe the show. You just need to listen. Sunday morning at midnight. Now, back to Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
So, coming up at the 8 o'clock hour, Doug Giles is on at 8:30, and unfortunately, the Women's World Cup would be normally something I'd want to engage the girls in and everything else, but I'm off the train with them because they've ruined it for everybody except for the people who hate Trump. And so they just couldn't stop running their friggin' mouths. And so I'm done with that pink-haired chick, whatever she is, she's getting really annoying, and I'm finished with him. So, and I hope they lose. So there. Hey, Jim, line 2. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jamie, good morning.
Good morning this morning, Jim.
I actually am calling. I agree with you about the women's soccer, by the way. First time in my life, maybe I'm rooting against an American team.
I know.
But what I'm calling here is to defend these raised hand questions. I think Talent's got it all wrong there. Had they not asked that question in 2016 in that debate, I think we may not have Donald Trump as president. You know, when they asked, will you support the Republican candidate? And he was the one guy that stood out and said no. And I want to know who the contrarians are in that group. Now, obviously, these guys are all in lockstep with giving illegals health care, and that's good to know too. I don't want to hear their explanation on that. You know, there's some things you just don't need an explanation for.
Right,
and I think the one thing this raised hand question gets to is who's the person that's going to stand out in the crowd and take on the orthodoxy of either party. So I think there's a lot of value in that. I'm sorry to disagree with Mr. Talent.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Sometimes he gets it wrong too.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it, and we're all, people here. You good people sometimes have bad ideas. Bad people have good ideas. Whatever. But here's the thing, though. I think you're right in terms of who's going to break out of the Democrat orthodoxy. But here's the thing: Joe Biden is kind of like the Republican Jeb Bush, and that's how they're treating him now. And they're tired of him. They're going through similar changes that the Republican Party did in 2016, but they're making a mess of it because they don't have anybody who really is breaking out of that orthodoxy. Even Joe Biden fell into the, I'll give health care to illegal aliens, so much so that Savannah Guthrie actually thought he wasn't going to do it. So, no, he had to correct her and say, no, I will give free health care to illegal aliens. So, Jim, great point, but you're so right, as always, in your analysis of what we're seeing out there, because that's the one thing about the Democratic Party that the Republicans, they don't have, the Republicans did have in 2016, and that is somebody who is deciding to kind of break the mold. They're all just a bunch of outcomes of a mold with different faces on. That's all. 844-855-1380. Call Tammy.com, real estate listener line.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Free health care for illegal aliens, Medicare for all, and the higher taxes that would go along with it. A couple of the issues that surfaced in last night's second and final, for now, Democratic presidential candidates debate. Political analyst Gary Bauer says the debate confirms what he has observed for years, a Democrat Party that's moving more to the left.
What we've seen in the last several years from multiple left-wing leaders and progressive leaders in this country is complete disdain, and I would say in many cases hatred for the values of middle America.
President Trump tweets, all Democrats just raised their hands for giving millions of illegal aliens unlimited health care. How about taking care of American citizens first? The president's now at the G20 summit in Japan, meeting with Russian President Putin. Mr. Trump admonished Putin not to meddle in U.S. elections. The Senate expected to vote today on a measure that would require congressional approval before the president could take any military action against Iran.
The amendment to a defense spending bill follows some tough talk by President Trump last week, threatening military action in response to the downing of a U.S. drone. Its authors say Congress must bring back its constitutional authority, but
I think everybody would take a deep breath.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says
the president made it absolutely clear that he's not interested in starting a war with Iran. I think it's laughable to suggest that he is.
The amendment is not expected to pass, but lawmakers agree the president shouldn't still be using the old war authorizations approved after the 9/11 attacks. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
Wall Street's opening bell will sound in about a half hour, and futures pointing to a higher open. Right now, Dow futures up 65 points, NASDAQ futures better by 10, S&P futures 8 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We're seeing our first delays of the morning. We've got a slow spot on 6440 eastbound between Clarkson Olive and Timberlake Manor and McKnight to Big Bend. You'll see a slight delay there as well. 55 westbound, Route 3 to the 5544 underpass. Backing up just a little bit there. Now, flooding still an issue in a couple of spots. Maryland Heights Expressway remains down to one lane in both directions between Creve Coeur Airport Road and Creve Coeur Mill Road. And we've got midday road work today, 9 to 4 on eastbound 44 near 270. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Twitter taking aim at President Trump. Amazon launches in-store pickup at Rite Aid. And Audi recalling hundreds of thousands of its cars for safety hazards. Those stories next.
G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free. I want to personally thank all my Plug-in Pest Free customers who've taken the time out to call, write, and who have left messages to thank me for ridding their homes and businesses of unwanted rodent and pest problems. So from me to you, I thank you. Plug-in Pest Free is the only scientifically tested and, more importantly, consumer-proven electromagnetic pest management system since 1995. Why put up with those annoying rodents and pests any longer? Plug-in Pest Free is 100% chemical-free, making it your safest bet to manage your rodent and pest problems around your family and pets. With a 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. So order yours today at gopestfree.com. Use promo code SAVE20 for 20% off and free shipping. That's gopestfree.com, promo code SAVE20. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com today.
Twitter threatening to slap so-called warning labels on tweets that they determined to be, quote, abusive. Public officials have been exempted from any interference in their Twitter accounts. This as President Trump just officially kicked off his 2020 presidential re-election bid. No coincidence whatsoever. Amazon, an undisputed giant in the online world, but one thing it didn't have was a brick-and-mortar location for in-store pickup. Until now. Amazon says customers can get in-store delivery on orders at more than 100 Rite Aid drugstores around the country. More on the way. And Audi is recalling 265,000 of its vehicles because a trim piece on the wheel can fall off and create a road hazard. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
This is Tammy with Tammy Mitchell Hines & Company Real Estate. We sell a house every 30 hours. Buying a home is a big decision and a big investment. It's where your child will take their first steps. It's where you will plant your first garden. It's where your family will enjoy Christmas mornings. Your new home is a place to go to escape the world. It's your home and your memories start here. Let us help you get there. Go to calltammy.com. That's calltammy.com.
Summertime in St. Louis. If you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
At Staples, there's a whole lot in store and online. This week, buy 1 HP ink cartridge and get a second 30% off, so you can stock up and save. And $629.19 restrictions apply. See store associate or staples.com/HPBOGO for details. Staples.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in.
This thing with the Women's World Cup and President Trump, this is such a jacked up, passive-aggressive baloney move on the part of the Women's World Cup, this Rapinoe or whatever the hell her name is. And it's funny, this Atlantic, everybody talks about how President Trump divides this country. You know who divides this country? The media and some of these so-called culture stars who decide everything out of their mouth has to be some kind of swipe at the president when he has said nothing and done nothing but support the Women's World Cup soccer team. And by the way, I not but 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember, was defending them against all of these ridiculous charges that they ran up the score against Thailand when nobody realized that it was a point total thing at the end of the game, at the end of the deal, in the event of a tie or whatever. And so they had to kind of be their best. And I defended the Women's World Cup team. So there's this article in the Atlantic that says that President Trump has thin skin. You know why? Because is it Rapinoe? I don't know. I think it is. Megan Rapinoe, the co-captain of the U.S. women's national soccer team. So a soccer magazine, 8x8, posted a video of her saying that if the women win the World Cup, she's not going to the effing White House. And she didn't think the team would even be invited. Well, she doesn't know that, first of all. And secondly, I'm not going to the effing White House. So the president responding to that is thin-skinned? I mean, listen, the president, to me, has been and continues to be the conscience of many Americans. And most of us, when we see a comment like that, we're thinking to ourselves, wait a minute. I mean, you're a pro athlete representing the U.S. team on the world stage. Why do you have to decide that you're going to take a shot at the president of the United States? I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? And so, to me, now I don't care whether they win or lose. And actually, I hope they lose. I think they're undeserving of my support. I know that. And I know that it's just one woman, one chick, but you could have somebody else come out and maybe refute her or do whatever. But no, they just had to make it political, had to make it against President Trump. So, going into the weekend and July 4th, I had thought about, kind of engaging the girls in this Women's World Cup, but I'm not doing that. I don't care about their fortunes anymore. And so they can stuff it as far as I'm concerned. Sorry to say, but I wouldn't want to. I would love to be able to root for them and have been this whole time and defended them and everything else. But the fact that they've dug this into the dump is outrageous, unacceptable, and unnecessary. The president tweeting out that I'm a big fan of the team. Megan should win first before she talks. Finish the job. That's not being thin-skinned. He just was the co-captain of the team. Just used the F word because apparently, Phil, that's what celebs do now, right? They just they just drop the F-bomb all the time.
It's a thing. Yep. And you can't even play clips from the stuff they do on the radio anymore because they just fill it with all these vulgarities. And
I mean it's unbelievable. And plus I don't know who they think they're speaking to in terms of who is appreciating them. I mean there are little girls who are looking up to these individuals and looking up to this team, and I just don't get it. You can grab Ben Murphy. He's going to be in here. You can go grab him if you want to. But I mean, I just don't understand why you would take this tactic and decide you're going to run this course and then expect us to support you. So again, this whole garbage about how President Trump is divisive is again a total lie. The fact that President Trump responds to somebody saying, a star saying, I'm not going to the effing White House. I mean, come on. You're representing the United States of America. But that's what we're getting from them, so I'm kind of off. I'm off the train, so I don't know who they're playing. I don't care. I'm not paying attention to it. I'm done. And now I'm actually to the point where I hope that they lose. Come on in here, Ben. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Little Ben Murphy.
Morning, Jamie.
It's
never better.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the World Cup team and all this claim that President Trump is divisive and all this kind of stuff. But everybody's always, when they start a fight, President Trump engages, then he's the one who's the bully. It's this passive aggressive stuff among the left is so aggravating.
Jamie, you know, I know you focus on the national scene, and I am so hyper focused on what's going on locally. And I was
talk about passive aggressive. you know what I mean? The person you're about to talk about.
Well, you know, I'm not going to throw. I don't want to start off right with the name, but you know, we've got a state representative who is the biggest fraud in the Republican Party in the state, and I'm incensed this morning because. And I only found out in the last couple of days. You know, we got to the end of the legislative session this year in Missouri. And we had one Republican vote against the heartbeat bill, Jamie. One Republican. None other than the great black hope of the Republican Party, Shamed Dogan. So even as I talk about it, I get angry because this was reported in both the Washington Post and the Post-Dispatch that Shamed, although he initially supported the bill, he changed his mind in the last minute and sided with the Democrats. Okay? So it's interesting. He goes on and on in the Post-Dispatch article talking about how he received only a couple of calls, people contacting him who opposed his vote, but he received over 100 emails in support of his vote with the Democrats against life in this heartbeat bill.
Were these emails from Republicans?
Jamie, interestingly, you mentioned from Republicans.
Or from Stacey Newman and her group of
He had
people.
to mention in the article, and look it up, he had to mention that they weren't that paste and cut kind. These were people who actually wrote him emails.
Right.
So that tells me that obviously it was the cabal out there cutting and pasting emails, sent them to Shamed. And let's not forget that Shamed Dogan is the executive, he's the vice chair of the Black Missouri Legislative Caucus, which is comprised of all black Democrats and Republican Shamed Dogan. Okay, so to me, I mean, we're so used to being called racist. Let's define this. So we've got a black guy who claims to be a Republican, who's an elected Republican, who is part of this legislative black caucus, all Democrats. So why is he there? Is he there to share Republican strategies and information with the Democrats? Or he's there because of the color of his skin? That's the definition of racism, Jamie, and I'll leave it at that.
Is there a reason why there's a black caucus?
Well, there's a white caucus, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, all the rest of them.
Is it kind of like Black History Month, and because every other month is White History Month? I guess that's
exactly.
the case. I don't really get the whole black caucus thing anyway, and that's not racist to me to say it. I just don't understand why that is. And here's the other thing, though, as you pointed out before, is that Shamed doesn't tweet directly anti-Trump stuff. He just retweets it, right?
Well, he's a coward also. Interestingly, his latest tweet, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I get sidetracked with my anger, not only with Shamed and his hypocrisy, but also with the Missouri Republican Party. They have risen this man up as their shining example. I guess because he's the only example of a black they have elected as a Republican in the state of Missouri. A Republican as a state rep, let's put it that way.
So why? What is the what's the situation with him? What district is he in? Is it Baldwin or?
Well, he's a state rep representing the 98th district, which comprises most of Baldwin, if not all, parts of Ellisville, Wildwood, and Fenton. So the Republican committee people in those townships representing that district, you guys need to get together and get a plan. As a matter of fact, I was talking to an insider, I'll call him an insider at this point, Republican, who does not live in the district, who told me in the last couple of days he is trying to make arrangements to get moved into the district to primary Shamed. Now, if it's not him, well, he better get moving fast. But if it's not him, it needs to be someone in the Republican Party to primary him. Or an independent rise up and take the good Democrats in that district and certainly the Republicans in that district and get him voted out of office. That's going to happen in 2020.
Well, isn't it?
He's got to go.
Isn't there someone there, aside from someone who has to move into the district?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, you would think, Jamie, but, you know, we all, and I say we all, so many people are so hyper-focused on the circus that is our national political scene and the support of the president and those that are attacking him daily, to include Shamed through his cowardice retweets. But somebody needs to do it. Now, I don't know who that person is. Contact your committeeman. Contact us at americafirstmo.com. You can find out how to get involved and take care of this problem, because I don't see necessarily the Republican Party reining this fellow in, but surely some patriot can rise up in that district and take care of business.
Yeah.
This is absurd, Jamie. Absolutely absurd.
Yesterday I talked about the fact that Nicole Galloway is all but certain to be running for governor in 2020 on the Democratic side.
Correct.
And, of course, I know that there's another candidate out there, Scott Sifton. He hasn't announced, but his name has been mentioned as somebody who might be running as well. Scott is a good guy and a more of a moderate Democrat, and he's in the city, but he's more of a moderate Democrat, and he gets along with Republicans and that kind of stuff. And so both Scott and Nicole are both formidable challengers, as far as I'm concerned, to a person like Governor Parson. And especially since we have a relatively weak Republican Party with weak support of the president, who has done a lot for this state and has done a lot even for Republicans in this state. And so this is rife for a Democrat takeover of the governorship if we don't watch out.
Jamie, you are right on target, as always, or most of the time. I'll give you that, sir. No, I love you. But you're right, Jamie. When we look at the statewide elected officials in Missouri, we've got a whole handful of them that weren't really elected. They've shuffled the chairs on the deck. These people have been made appointments through a succession from the ousting of Governor Greitens. So you're exactly right. There is strife within the Missouri Republican Party, and it stems directly from the betrayal of the leadership of the Republican Party, of the president. We've got, and we could go on, we've been over this before, we've got the chair of the party who never mentioned President Trump in any social media post of hers leading up to the election, shortly after the election, Kay Hofflander. So from her right on down, the leadership has denied the president, yet the people love President Trump in this state. We took the state for President Trump by 18%. And I also want to mention the huge success that we had down at the Trump headquarters last week for the watch party And the week before that, for the president's birthday celebration, we had the largest watch party in the state. I understand 80 to 100 people. I was there. What a crowd.
Yeah.
It was the largest in the state. And we had watch parties in counties all over the state. Huge success for the president. But there's your grassroots, Jamie, that we did co-host in conjunction with the Missouri Republican Party. They reached out to us. We even gave them first billing on one of the announcements on this watch party for the president's rally and tossing his hat in the ring, of course, for his reelection. But we had a handful, if not more, of badge-wearing Republicans from the party were there, but the main support certainly came from our grassroots efforts, the people that really love him, not the people that are going along and coattailing on the president.
Right on. Ben Murphy, we'll be back with more from him. Your phone calls are welcome. If you have any thoughts on the future of the Republican Party and the governorship there in the state of Missouri, 844-855-1380. Call Tammy.com, real estate listener line.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We picked up a problem with a stall now. 270 northbound has a left lane blocked at 70 with that disabled vehicle. We can see it from the jam cam at 70. And 6440 eastbound, still holding on to a delay there. McKnight to Big Bend. Westbound has no problems. We're clear on 70 itself. It looks good. And we do have some midday road work today, 9 to 4. You'll see construction on eastbound 44 near 270. And the off-ramp from southbound 270 to eastbound 70 closed with road work until late August. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
There are some bad people out there who know a lot of things about the internet and how to blast through any kind of wall you might have or think you have right there at your business, whether it be a business that is harboring a bunch of credit cards or financial information or whatever it happens to be. These individuals are hackers, and they go in, and there's a thing called ransomware where they lock down your system and then demand that you pay them a certain amount of money for them to release all that information and unlock your system. And that's costing a lot of business a lot of money, and sometimes even it might even cost you your business. So ThrottleNet comes in, and ThrottleNet is a team of individuals who are, I call them the white hats. These guys are just like the black hats, except they're doing their invasions for good. They're poking into your system, finding holes, and then filling them and keeping you from any kind of heartache, pain, or whatever it is that so many people have to go through. They also encourage you, and we'll do this for you as well, to back up your system, because sometimes if you don't have a backup, you're vulnerable, and you can tell the ransomware people to take a hike if they come in, because you already have a backup system. You just replace it and you're done. ThrottleNet is the best IT service, protection service in this area. They are expanding. They just opened their new offices in Sunset Hills, and there's a reason why, because more people are flocking to ThrottleNet. Also, by the way, they have a 24/7 helpline for you. Nobody else does. And so 2 in the morning, something goes south, you have help, whether it be remotely or at your doorstep. Check it out on the web. It's ThrottleNet.com. That's ThrottleNet.com.
You've just become an empty nester. The kids have moved. You've been waiting for this moment. It's time to reinvest in your home. Your home is your safe haven. You've been thinking about adding shutters for quite some time, but you don't know which style would look best and you're unsure of the cost. You've seen them in many homes, both modern and traditional. You're scared to do it yourself, and you should be. Don't go it alone. Contact Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home. Michael is a top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Why wait? Schedule your in-home consultation with his mobile design unit. The one-on-one appointment will ensure the look is exactly what you need for your home. Contact Michael at proctordrapery.com. It's Proctor spelled like doctor.
Do it right to spruce up your outdoors by shopping Lowe's July 4th savings. You'll find great deals in store like 5 bags of premium mulch, now just $10. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in store only through 7/10 while supplies last. U.S. only, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, want to talk with Jamie? Call 844-855-1380. 844-855-1380. And interact with Common Sense Radio. This is Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Jim is on line one. Jim, thanks for calling the show. What's going on, my friend?
I was hoping it'd be Jim. Come on, Jim.
Yeah, that was a. It looks like somebody. It sounded like he was sucked into a tube. Hello. Hey, Bob's on line two. Bob, how you doing?
Hi. Concerning the possible race between Galloway, Sifton against Parsons, I think Parsons has got it all wrapped up because Donald Trump and Pence are going to sweep the state. 2018, the Republicans should have had been slaughtered because of right to work. There were an awful lot of conservatives who were furious about right to work.
Yeah.
A lot of union Republicans who voted for union, the union members who were discussed with the Democratic Party voted for 40 years Republican, and there were huge numbers of non-union Republicans who got big salaries because the unions, their companies did not want them to go union. All those people voted to throw out right to work, and they were going to throw the Republicans out. But Trump and Pence came into the state in 2018, and they swept the state, and they saved the entire party. Now, in 2020, Pence and Trump are running on their own, so they're going to make an even bigger sweep of Missouri. And Galloway is a great gal. Sefton is a very shrewd guy, but they're going to be slaughtered. I think all they're going to do is prepare themselves for 4 years from now when Parsons cannot run again.
Yeah, maybe so.
This is going so heavily. And I don't think at all the Greitens thing is going to hurt Parsons. I, for one, was always against Greitens because the whole thing of dark money, it seems so obvious to me. Greitens was not kicked out of the Democratic Party like Trump. Trump was humiliated at that, remember that famous meeting where all the rich guys came, that big rally where Obama spoke for an hour, and he spent 20 minutes personally attacking Trump, and they used that for thousands of meetings all over the country in local Democrats, and everybody laughed at Trump. He was kicked out of the party, but Greitens was a golden boy. He was running his own website for vice president of the Democratic Party, and he was loved by Obama and those people. And then he suddenly announces he's running as a Republican. It was so obvious to me and most of my conservative friends that Greitens was simply put in there by wealthy St. Louis County Democrats to make sure the Democrats would end up controlling the governorship in Missouri.
Okay, well, Bob, that's an interesting perspective. I got to take a break here. I appreciate you calling the show. 844-855-1380.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Every Democratic presidential contender involved in last night's debate favors free health care for illegal aliens. President Trump says he caught bits and pieces of last night's debate as well as the one the night before and says that he was not impressed. The G20 summit underway in Japan. There's a lot of attention focusing on tomorrow's planned meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Several groups banding together to file a federal lawsuit that's aimed at blocking a Georgia law that bans most abortions in the state. Consumer spending increased 0.4% in May. It's a modest gain. The Commerce Department says incomes rose 0.5% during the same period of time, and inflation remains in check. On Wall Street this morning, the opening bell has just sounded. The key averages are modestly higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We picked up a problem with a stall now. 270 northbound has a left lane blocked at 70 with that disabled vehicle. We can see it from the jam cam at 70. And 6440 eastbound, still holding on to a delay there. McKnight to Big Bend. Westbound has no problems. We're clear on 70 itself. It looks good. And we do have some midday road work today, 9 to 4. You'll see construction on eastbound 44 near 270. And the off-ramp from southbound 270 to eastbound 70 closed with road work until late August. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you when it comes to Michael's Flooring Outlet and what Michael is going to do for you, he has added a new dimension in terms of, because of the latest things we've seen with so many first responders imperiled, not only with their lives, but just with their daily work. He wants to make sure that if you are a first responder, he's the kind of guy who's going to pull out all the stops for you and make things happen for you. You already, just as a person, just for breathing, are getting a $500 off coupon when you go to the website, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. But if you're a first responder, make sure you let them know that, and Michael will, pardon the pun, but roll out the red carpet for you when it comes to prices, when it comes to quality, when it comes to making things happen for you and giving you a really great deal on top of the $500 off. So we want to make sure that I mention that to you. If you're a first responder out there, he understands the position you're in. He understands how underpaid you are, and so he's going to take care of business for you. If you go to the website, by the way, you're going to see all kinds of varieties of the luxury. I love this luxury vinyl stuff. This is stuff that in case you didn't want to go big on the real wood floor or go big on the real stone floor, he actually has vinyl tiling that looks exactly like it, and it's beautiful. And you got to take a look at it at michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Starting this business 25 years ago, $700 in his pocket. Look where he is now with 4 different locations and a great reputation. He loves it when people check him out and find out what half the people say about him, because his rating is as high as anybody can possibly be in the business. Check it out at michaelsflooringoutlet.com, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Opening soon, the most amazing and user-friendly home exterior showroom in the entire Midwest. Arrowhead Building Supply's new St. Peter's facility simplifies life when it comes to choosing your new home exterior. Our 7,000 square foot showroom features a full-sized home as its centerpiece to give you a full perspective. It also includes the Arrowhead Cube home visualizer, allowing you to see what different products and colors will look like on your actual home before selections are made. Our massive product display wall is 100 feet long and 28 feet tall, with more than 50 different roofing, siding, and stone ideas on display. Take the elevator up to the second floor mezzanine and view our show home at roof level. Learn and understand how exterior systems work, such as proper ventilation, and why they are so important to your home's health. While upstairs, visit our beautiful entry door interactive display and make an educated decision for your home's next entryway. Meet your contractor here or just come on in. You won't believe your eyes. ArrowheadBuildingSupply.com.
Do it right to spruce up your outdoors by shopping Lowe's July 4th savings. You'll find great deals in store, like 5 bags of premium mulch, now just $10. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in store only through 7/10 while supplies last. U.S. only, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Beyond the Beltway with Bruce DeMont. A live discussion of the week's news and events. Sunday night from 9 to midnight. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Morning. Happy Friday to all of you. Got news from Doug Giles over the text on Wednesday morning. The Safari cigar line is officially ready. World-class smokes. You've got Safari cigars, and he showed me the website, everything else. And buddy, good job. These Safari cigars, you actually, got you some cigars when you came here to visit, but the Safari cigar is well above anything I ever put in your hand. That's for sure.
Jamie, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
You're making me crave one of my delicious box press Maduro sticks right now, and I think I'm gonna as soon as we get off the interview. I'm gonna burn the evidence, as Ted Cruz would say, and smoking right. Yeah, we've got a world-class cigar, and people all the time ask me about them. It's like, so what's your cigar like? Some smarmy dipstick and stuff, and I said, well, it's one of the best cigars in the world, and they're looking at me all weird and stuff, and it's like, guys, we're not bragging, it's true. And here's the way I know it's one of the best cigars in the world. We buy the best fillers, binders, wrappers this planet has to offer. And, Jamie, they're constructed under the auspicious oversight of one of the greatest living cigar makers, schlepping this third rock from the sun. And that's how we know. And when you hold one, even before you light it, like when I judge a cigar, I look at it. Does the construction look weird? If it passed that test, then I feel the cigar to see if there's any like real hard spots or big soft spots in it. And if there is, I throw it, or I don't throw it yet. I'll cut it and try to draw, which is next. Cut the cigar, draw it, and if it's like pulling mud through a PVC pipe, it's going to suck bad. And so our cigars pass all those tests, man. I mean, they just blow through the finish line. Perfect finish, and it's box press, so it's not going to roll off the table if you put it down there to go get another adult beverage.
Yeah.
And the smell is great. It's not for a beginner. I'm telling you, if you're a newbie and I want to try cigar smoking, it's like don't walk near these because they will throat punch you. They are full body Maduro wrap smoke, and it's like you said, man, it's delicious. We finally got them back after a Nicaraguan damn near civil war where they're killing college students, and we had a little hiatus there for about a year, but they're back in black, man. SafariCigar.com. I kid you not, this is one of the best cigars in the world.
So you guys, because you had to take a break because it was just too dangerous to get the goods from Nicaragua. Is that what it was about?
Yeah, well, our blender couldn't, with peace of mind, go down there and oversee our production. And then he's also worried about, getting the hell out of Dodge with it. Because I don't know if you remember, like a year ago, I think there was nearly 200 college students that got liquidated, because they weren't bowing and kissing the proper ring down there in Nicaragua. And another thing that kept our cigar line from coming to market was the last production we did. They put all the wrong labels on our cigars and shipped them to us, and we're like, we can't even sell these. We can smoke them. And we had a hell of a stash, brother, for about 2 years, but we can't sell them. But now everything is fixed, and they're ready to fill your listeners' humidors.
So did you pay attention at all to the debate last night?
You got to be kidding me, man. I would rather watch Rosie O'Donnell River Dance to Inagata DeVita, the extended cut, and Borat's song than watch that circus.
I like the fact that you didn't pay attention to it. I mean, everybody else, kind of is obsessing over the thing, and I thought it was perfect because it just basically, as many people have pointed out, it basically was a Trump commercial for 2 nights in a row. So I actually appreciated that.
Yeah.
So
You know what I did? You know what I did instead of watch the Democratic debate, and this is a lesson for everyone. I played with my grandkids. We got out the BB gun, and we shot my brother's Coke bottles that he left here, that he always pours with his Jim Beam and stuff. And then Daphne, my granddaughter, brushed my hair.
I love it, man. That's awesome. By the way, I'm so glad you finally came up with the perfect word to describe The View, which is another show that I normally spend a lot of time avoiding that show. I don't play too many clips from it for my audience because they spend so much time avoiding it. When they listen to me, that's the last thing they want me to send them is stuff they've been trying to avoid their whole day. But nonetheless, for the purposes of exposition and kind of seeing the left for what it is, I thought the word that you chose to describe The View as the coven is perfect, especially since they decided to side with Iran over President Trump, which is kind of what even NBC News is doing. So good for you.
Yeah, it's horrible. No, it is a coven. I mean, can you imagine being married to any of those chicks? I mean, just the rancor, man. It's like that is the root cause of erectile dysfunction. That kind of screeching, harpy, bitchy stuff that they just listen, I don't want to be around any woman like that. You know who I think did commentary and opinion in a beautiful way, where she didn't come off, like just this angry, nasty woman. Oh gosh, what was her name? It's Noonan.
Oh,
remember,
Peggy.
Is it
oh
Peggy?
yeah, Peggy Noonan. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no. Here comes Peggy Noonan. She can crush you from an argument standpoint. She has incredible intellect, articulate as they come. Definitely against certain things that need to be killed, crushed, and destroyed from an ideological standpoint. But when she opens her mouth, she's not this screeching, bitter woman. It was amazing to watch Noonan work an opponent from a debate tactical standpoint. She was, and I'm not saying women are supposed to be soft spoken.
Right.
Listen, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine goes down, and those chicks on The View, they got no sugar at all. I don't know a guy on this planet that could stomach that crap. If I watched them, if I had to watch them, and that was the representation of what a woman was, Jamie, I hate to say this on your radio show, but I might turn gay.
Okay, so you're in Texas. You guys, not you, but whatever part of Texas I can't figure out, produced Beto O'Rourke. And so Beto O'Rourke decides that he is going to start the rash of Spanish speaking on the debate stage. And I pointed out to people yesterday, and this is probably true because you've been around Texas enough to know. I said 16% of this country is Hispanic. I guarantee you a majority of the 16% of this country, Hispanic, speak English. And so they're confounded as to why a guy like Beto O'Rourke is speaking Spanish to them, thinking that's what they want to hear when they're legal Hispanic citizens who speak English. And then suddenly everybody else started speaking Spanish. It was crazy. This Beto O'Rourke guy is a mystery to me, man.
Yeah, well, liberalism is a mental disorder. And, when I saw him and who else did it?
Cory
Warren
Booker.
And Castro. And
Julian Castro, yeah.
Booker. I like Booker's Spanish because it had kind of a Chinese accent in his Spanish. But, it's like, this is America, man, just like you said. We speak American, Don't get up on the stage and si habla español.
Yeah,
I am Beto O'Rourke. No, you're not. You're Robert Francis,
Well, it's insulting to Hispanics. I mean, people don't realize that really when you're doing that, really what you're doing is you're insulting people and you're pandering and talking down to them. And these people never seem to get that. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, if I was Julio and I'm sitting there wailing on a taco and just checking out the first Democratic debate, and I see those guys do their stuttering, halting through the Spanish dialect, I would throw that taco at the television and run over to Trump.com and get an eyeful of President Trump, not pandering to Hispanics, but causing their income to go up and their children to be protected because he wants to shut the borders down and wants us to keep free from terrorism. Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Yeah,
it is. It's ridiculous. And again, it just gives you a peek inside their minds. Like, if I say this in Spanish, then it'll trick the poor brown people into voting for me. Trump's not doing any kind of tricks. Like, listen, I'm shutting the borders down so your creepy relatives can't come over here that are dealing drugs or doing human trafficking. Second, I'm going to increase your wages because I'm going to stimulate this economy and get everybody's asses back to work. And if I was a Mexican or a Somalian or an Italian or whomever, and I immigrated into this land of the free and the home of the brave, I would stand up and give Mr. Trump a standing ovation because that's the crap that matters, not speaking a little Spanish during the debate with a bunch of other numbnuts.
Yeah, on ClashDaily.com, you also have a great post, because I don't think we can repeat this enough, regarding the so-called human cages, because CNN continually promotes this idea that these cages are brand new, and they're a brand new creation of the Trump administration. And I'm glad you guys finally pointed out that these are not the creation of the Trump administration. I'm recalling that one tweet with the kid in the cage that some people were tweeting out, and it turns out the picture was from the Obama era, not the Trump era.
Right. Yeah, that was from 2014. They're like, look at the child. It's in a dog cage. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. It's like, listen, according to Thomas Homan, who was Obama's Executive Associate Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement for nearly 4 years, he said, Obama built that. Yeah. That's one thing Obama built in his scandal, quote-unquote, free administration. But you'll never hear that on CNN, man. You're never going to have Ocasio-Cortez tweet that out. But again, that is a Democratic work. That's an Obama project, is building those cages. And again, the cyclone fencing, if people think they're human cages, that was to separate, some Chester the molester from some other little kid. It wasn't, to turn them into dogs. It was to separate would-be pedophiles and keep them away from the children.
Yeah, and within your post, it's a great one. You have a embed of a tweet from Dan Crenshaw, who explicitly shows a clip of President Obama basically saying we need to enforce our sovereignty and curb illegal immigration. That xenophobe Barack Obama wasn't called that, but nonetheless. Do you see?
He's a bigot, but he can say that because he's half black and he's a liberal. If he was a woman, he'd really get away with whatever. But Trump can't. White, conservative, blonde hair, blue eyes. He's the devil, man.
Yeah. Did you see Bill?
Do you see my Mount Trumpmore painting?
I just was about to bring that up. Because it is awesome. It's the latest from Doug Giles and his artwork, and it's Mount Trumpmore. I love it, man.
Yeah, so we got Donald's profile. So he's permanently ensconced on, and we changed the name from Mount Rushmore to Mount Trumpmore. He's with this august crew. You got George Washington, you got T.J. Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt. I think I slayed him in particular. And then you got old Abe Lincoln. Abe looks kind of like he's got a little gastro problems with Trump heading up, again, that august group of people that were sculpted into that amazing mountain. Jamie, when I put it up on Instagram, it just went nuts, man. And I think it's a great painting. I didn't expect it to go, viral like it did, but if the folks want a good piece of artwork that'll trigger their aunt that has that mustache, the liberal one, got to get Mount Trumpmore, and you can get it over at douggiles.art. It's great stuff, man.
Dude, I do think that the expression on Lincoln's face is priceless. I don't know what you're doing there, but I do. I don't know what it is. But it's a great look.
It kind of looks like he's wrinkling his nose a little bit, doesn't it?
A little bit. I think I can't. I'm trying to think. He looks like an expression I've seen before, I'm dying to. I can't figure out which one it is. But it still obviously looks like Lincoln, but you've just got this kind of like, right. What's happening here kind of a look. And yeah, the Teddy Roosevelt is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and it's again, like I said, it's a great little painting. The original immediately sold. I just put it out there to a couple of my patrons, a couple of people that are collectors of my stuff, and before it was finished, this one, just went tight immediately. It's like, I want that now, period.
Yeah.
How much? I don't care. Blah, 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 blah. And but the prints are available. We're about to roll it out on a couple of big conservative sites, and hopefully crush it. I hope, again, I really, these little paintings, they seem cheeky and goofy and stuff, but, man, they're a great collection of an epic time in our history. I don't know if I told you this, but I brokered a deal. A publisher wants to do a coffee table book of all the paintings going into 2020. It's on like Donkey Kong. What Trump has done is just amazing, and people laughed that he would run, laughed about him winning the election. I don't know if him getting put on Mount Rushmore is laughable.
No.
It could happen. Look what's going on to the country.
It almost looks like President Trump's like wearing some kind of buckskin Chiefs outfit. It looks pretty cool. I don't know whether you intended that or not, but it almost looks like he's wearing some warrior outfit. It's fantastic.
It's funny is people's like, oh, it'll never happen. It's like, man, if you look at Mount Rushmore and you look, frame left of George Washington, there's a big chunk of rock that that you could carve Trump into big time. So it's hanging out there like a matzo ball, just ready for Trump to be again carved and sculpted for all of the planet to see.
Well,
I think it'd be hilarious, man.
No doubt. And it's funny how, at least you are in a situation where you're elevating President Trump to Mount Rushmore. The left, when they talked about Obama, I'll never forget Chris Matthews talking about, maybe Obama can just be a rung below Mount Rushmore. It's like, dude, you got to be crazy. So when they thought about their newborn king, they couldn't even put him up there with the other guys. They actually wanted the black guy to be like kind of on a rung below Mount Rushmore. It's a classic bit. So, yeah. Love this, man. DougJiles.art is where you can find it. And then Safari Cigars, what's the website again there? SafariCigars.com?
Yeah, SafariCigar.com. Load up for the summer, gentlemen.
All right.
And hey, ladies, if your husband smokes cigars, you know what? You ought to click your mouse, melt your plastic, and buy him some. I kid you not. These are world-class sticks.
Well, I have to tell you, there's nothing more romantic than receiving a cigar from your lady. I'm not kidding you. So do it, ladies.
Cool. Instead of the wife just fanning smoke and looking at you, weird and telling you get out of here, go outside. It's like, here you go, honey. You take care of the home, you take care of me, you take care of the kids. You don't go to strippers. You don't cheat on me. You like a cigar. Guess what? I found you one of the best on the planet. So enjoy, and then you sit on his lap and kiss him, and you know what? The wheels of the bus go round and round.
There you go, buddy. I'm loving it. ClashDaily.com, Doug Giles. And by the way, your book is officially out the 4th of July, correct, my friend? Or no?
The publisher had to punt to April 1st. August 1st.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Woo.
I know.
Yeah,
that's still awesome.
Coming.
All right, buddy. Really excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it. And we'll see you, man. Have a great weekend.
You too. Stay rowdy.
All right, that is Doug Giles, ClashDaily.com, and this Mount Trumpmore is an awesome piece right there. It's great. Check it out at DougGiles.art. It's Common Sense Radio.
Call the show at 844-855-1380 and interact with Jamie on the calltammy.com listener line. That's 844-855-1380. More Allman in the Morning next on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Never paint again. This is Darren, owner of Rhino Shield. Want to eliminate painting your home, business, or church? Call the experts at Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield is a revolutionary ceramic wall coating to regular paint and vinyl. Perfect for aluminum, steel, unpainted brick, block, stucco, EIFS, drive-it, cement board, and wood sidings. Rhino Shield eliminates wasting time and money painting year after year. Our ceramic coating deflects 90% of the sun's UV rays and 100% of the moisture. Our clients want affordable protection with the elimination of maintenance. Rhino Shield protects your biggest investment while maintaining your architectural features and gives you the curb appeal you deserve. Make your home great again by working with the Rhino Shield experts. A+ rated with the BBB. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Go Rhino
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Thank you, Darren. Great guy. And yes, speaking of making your home great again, how about making your bed great again with the MyPillow product, right? You get 2 pillows for the price of 70 bills if you use the promo code Jamie, and you have the Giza Dream Sheets. These are made from the cotton that comes right over from the Fertile Crescent, and you're on your way. And these are 30% off when you drop the promo code Jamie. 2 exquisite ways to improve your sleep with hotel-style pillows and hotel-style sheets right there at mypillow.com/Jamie.
KXFN, St. Louis, K287BY, St. Louis.
If you're a business owner in St. Louis, ask yourself the following questions. What is your current IT provider doing to protect you against ransomware attacks? Do you know the status of your backups and if those backups are good in the event of an attack or network failure? Do you know if your network is secure from internal and external threats? If you answered no to any of these, you need to call ThrottleNet today. ThrottleNet specializes in assisting businesses with their network support and security. Don't become fish bait. Visit ThrottleNet.com for your free external vulnerability scan and your free Don't Become Fish Bait poster.
Do it right to spruce up your outdoors by shopping Lowe's July 4th savings. You'll find great deals in store like 5 bags of premium mulch, now just $10. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in store only through 7/10 while supplies last. U.S. only, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, don't just listen to Allman in the Morning. See the show at theanswerstl.com. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
In the 9 o'clock hour, Ben is back, but we're also going to dig in a little bit more to the debate and the debilitating performance of Joe Biden and the rise of Kamala Harris and the awesomeness of Marianne Williamson, or whatever her name is. Bernie piped in, too. Biden promises to raise your taxes and give free health care to illegal aliens. These people are falling all over themselves to kind of They don't know where the Democratic Party is going. They have zero awareness of what's going on in the party. Unlike President Trump, who knew exactly what was going on with the Republican electorate at the time he was running and pegged it, nailed it perfectly. These folks just have zero. They can't put a mark on it. They're too busy wanting to pander to the news media for what the news media's view of the Democratic Party is. Then you have the far left and their attempts to wrestle the party away. And I hope we have another Chicago-style convention there for the Democratic Party. That will be interesting, wouldn't it? And watch President Trump just skate right into another term in 2020. The more we see these people in all their full glory, if you want to put it that way, the better it looks like President Trump's chances are in 2020. 844-855-1380, the calltammy.com real estate listener line.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Every Democratic presidential contender on the debate stage last night favors free health care for illegal aliens. That's not the only freebie they're talking about. A political analyst, Gary Bauer, says that sooner or later all of those giveaways would break the bank.
The world is filled with countries that have tried this approach, and their economies are collapsing. In some cases, the governments themselves are collapsing.
The G20 summit now underway in Japan. A lot of attention, though, is focused on tomorrow's meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi. Mr. Trump has already told Russia's Vladimir Putin not to interfere in U.S. elections. Several groups have banded together, filing a federal lawsuit that's aimed at blocking a Georgia law that bans most abortions in the state. The plaintiffs argue the law, which is due to take effect January 1st, is unconstitutional. In a rebuke of Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the House has passed the Senate's $4.6 billion humanitarian aid bill for the southern border.
The reversal followed days of failed efforts by Democratic leaders to drum up support for their own bill, which contains strict guidelines on how that money could be spent. Democrats pulling the bill from the floor just an hour before a scheduled vote. Its fate sealed after several dozen moderate Democrats broke ranks with the party and called on Pelosi to allow a vote on the Senate bill.
That's Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. Consumer spending rose a modest 0.4% last month, while incomes rose 0.5. The Commerce Department reports inflation remains in check, increasing 1.5% over the past year. That is below the Federal Reserve's target rate of 2%. Stocks are narrowly mixed on Wall Street. The Dow is up about 28 points, while the Nasdaq is down 3. The S&P 6 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Still just one delay at this hour, and that's on 6440 eastbound between McKnight and Big Bend. This has pretty much been the rush hour that never happened. We've got flooding issues still. Maryland Heights Expressway remains down to one lane in both directions between Creve Coeur Airport Road and Creve Coeur Mill Road. And 67 is one lane each way between 94 and the Clark Bridge on the Missouri side with flooding as well. We've got midday road work coming up today, 9 to 4. You'll see construction on eastbound 44 near 270, but otherwise it's a good-looking day. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
If you want to be successful in business, surround yourself with good people. If you want to be a successful contractor, then you've got to team up with the right supplier. Rick Pogue here. Arrowhead Building Supply understands the minute your day starts, time is money. With our exclusive 315 service platform, we offer 3-hour delivery to your job site or 15-minute pickup on anything in stock, be it siding, roofing, decks, windows, doors, gutters, or even stone. By the way, you will talk to a real person when you call Arrowhead. No voicemail. Call or stop by the location near you and let us help you grow your business today. Arrowhead Building Supply.
Are you ready to sell your house but don't know who to trust with a listing? I'm Tammy Mitchell-Hines, and I sell a house every 30 hours. From staging your house to filling out the paperwork, my team is here to guide you step by step through the process of selling your house and getting the most value from it. Go to calltammy.com and let us do the work for you. If you buy or sell with me, you can use my moving truck for free. Go to calltammy.com. That's calltammy.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan. Join me on Need, Want, Love, Wellness, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. We're going to be talking about your health, things to get you from awareness into action and how to change your life in a way that's never been discussed before so that you can then figure out exactly what's going on for you to best suit your lifestyle to get you back to doing the things that you need to do, want to do, and love to do within your life. So join me, Dr. Dan, on Need, Want, Love, Wellness, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Pros do it right to save 5% more on eligible purchases every day just by using your Lowe's Business Credit Account. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Subject to credit approval, cannot be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
This hour of Allman in the Morning is brought to you in part by Dr. Anna Smith, the #1 provider of oral sleep appliances in the United States. Learn more at cpapsucks.com.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in.
So the Senate is now voting on the president's power to strike Iran, and keep an eye on the roll call on that one. Just to find out, because basically the bottom line is the president's powers are broad. He's the commander-in-chief, and we'll see who wants to draw him back. This guy's already a non-interventionist. He has more than proven himself as a man who pursues peace and not war. So this idea that the Senate is even voting on whether or not these guys don't lift a finger until it's time to try to pass some judgment on the president. So sick of these people. Then they're off on vacation next week. So one of the 2 weeks that President Trump gave them to get their crap together on the border issue and everything else, that one of them, they're on vacation. And the rest of the time they're subpoenaing Kellyanne Conway and flashing their eyelids and fanning their faces over his whether he can strike Iran or not. Meanwhile, I want to let you know, you've probably heard me throughout this week and throughout the last couple of weeks talking about Alliance Defending Freedom. And this is a big deal. The Alliance Defending Freedom is a completely pro bono outfit that is a conservative ACLU, if you will. You'd think the ACLU would be conservative, but they don't protect people unless they're on the far left. In fact, the ACLU usually participates in the crushing of individuals who are themselves attempting to express their own points of view, whether it be Christian points of view or conservative points of view. So freedom is basically under attack in America, and the Alliance Defending Freedom are right there on the front lines where other people simply are not. So for 25 years, they've been able to do this at no charge at all. So they're doing it completely for free, helping the baker who suddenly gets sued by somebody because she doesn't want to participate in their solemnity of a gay marriage or whatever, and or the college professor who dared say something that wasn't part of the left-wing orthodoxy, and suddenly he gets disciplined. You want to hear this? It's from the Alliance Defending Freedom's attorney, David Cortman. Check it out.
One case can cost from $1 million to $2 million. Your typical person who's getting bullied by the government doesn't have the ability to fight back in most instances, because who can hire a lawyer and pay them $1 million or $2 million to fight against the government? And yet that's what it takes to go through, and that's why it's important for people to support the work, is because we come alongside everyday citizens who say, you know what, I think the government has gone too far. Here I am trying to run my business, whatever it happens to be. I'm a florist, I'm a photographer, I'm a counselor. But now you have the government reaching into that relationship saying, well, not only are we going to get involved here, we're going to tell you what you can and cannot say, and the only thing you can say is what we officially agree with and nothing else.
Yeah. And so if you happen to be a person in those categories, or you know somebody like that, when are you going to be next on the left-wing mob hit parade? So here's what we need you to do. If you go to theanswer.com, theanswerstl.com, and you click on the ADF banner, we would love for you, at least 10 of you right now, to give $100 ahead to the ADF, and it'll go a long way to helping those individuals who otherwise are just left to flip in the wind, or they lose their businesses or their jobs completely. Or you can go to a number that's actually just simply particular to the radio station and to me. It's 866-700-1060. That's 866-700-1060. That's the phone number. $100 ahead goes a long darn way to helping protect the freedoms when other people are just not being protected and are exposed, and indeed are even preyed upon by the left-wing mob. So check it out there. TheAnswerSTL.com. Click on the ADF banner or call 866-700-1060. Ben, I have to tell you, one of my favorite things, I'm beginning to think one of my favorite people now in the Democratic end is Marianne Williamson, because I would love for her to be the nominee, because I'd like to see how this strategy of hers articulates itself as a campaign. Okay, you want to hear Marianne Williamson? You know who this is?
Let's roll it.
You know who she is?
I don't know who these people are.
She's a spiritual advisor. She's a spiritual counselor. She's a political newcomer.
They need a spiritual advisor, Jamie. What has she got to say?
Well, here's what she's going to do. She's outlining her campaign. Listen to her.
Ms. Williamson, 45 seconds for your closing.
By the way, it took them 30 minutes to even to get to her. She stood there for 30 minutes before she even said a word.
We haven't talked more tonight about how we're going to beat Donald Trump. I have an idea about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not going to be beaten just by insider politics talk. He's not going to be beaten just by somebody who has plans. He's going to be beaten by somebody who has an idea what this man has done. This man has reached into the psyche of the American people, and he has harnessed fear for political purposes. So, Mr. President, if you're listening, I want you to hear me, please. You have harnessed fear for political purposes, and only love can cast that out. So sir, I have a feeling you know what you're doing. I'm going to harness love.
Jamie, harnessing love is never a bad thing, but she's out of her mind like the rest of them in that bunch.
Well, I want to see what that looks like, though. That's what I want to see.
I don't know how you do that.
I want to see the Harness Love campaign.
Let me tell you who's harnessing some fear-mongering and hate. And I spent $2.50 yesterday, Jamie, for this rag. I
thought it was only 99 cents.
It's up to $2.50 per rag per day. And
just gotta stop you for just 1 second. Did you do this on your iPhone?
No,
because
I
on a laptop
on that thing. I bought the paper.
Oh, you bought the paper, okay? Because there's a trick though with the Post-Dispatch articles, is that on a laptop, you don't get that subscribe for 99 cents to read the article. On a laptop, if you go to it, it'll show up on there. On your phone, it shows up as a 99-cent thing. But if you go on your laptop, it won't pop up. The subscription thing won't pop up, and you can read the whole article.
Well, maybe that's the key, because I'm discussing.
I like it when they charge you 99 cents to find out what body was found in the alley on Wabata.
When you go to press the read more button, and they want 99 cents.
Yeah.
No, Jamie, in the editorial section yesterday, they published this terrible picture. The poor illegal alien attempting to get into the country with his 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
They're upside down, drowned. They're dead bodies, a picture of dead bodies. And they headlined it, "America looks for a leader." You know, I'm done. I'm going to vow never again to spend a dime for this pathetic rag that all they know to do is disparage the president and use these kind of tactics to do so. So picture's worth 1,000 words. Thanks a lot for ruining my day, Post-Dispatch, but that's the last dollar you're ever going to get from me.
It's interesting how the Post-Dispatch won't show dead bodies of murder victims or of people who have been attacked or what have you. I don't think I've even seen dead bodies from 9/11, but they decide that they're going to use a couple of foreigners and their bodies just as tools to exploit these deaths. I mean, Chuck Schumer had a blow-up of the picture behind him when he was speaking on the floor of the Senate. Not one person seemingly has raised any grievances with this idea that, you know what, stop showing that picture just because it benefits your political pursuits. It's crass, it's demeaning, it's insulting to these poor people.
Yes.
And it's also, though, ironically, a reflection of your lack of action on the border. It's also a reflection of the fact that for 3 months, the media has been telling us there's not a humanitarian crisis at the border. For 5 years, Republicans and Democrats have been telling us, whether it be this idea somehow that coming here is an entrepreneurial venture and defending these people and promising. When you saw every candidate yesterday promising health care for illegal aliens, what do you think that does to a guy and his daughter who are thinking about coming over here but are worried that maybe the country isn't going to accommodate them? We just saw 11 presidential candidates say, "Come on over, we'll take good care of you." And I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't think it's too much of a stretch, to blame the deaths of that father and that daughter on the Democrats, who continually promise and promise and promise and provide for illegal aliens, promising sanctuary in sanctuary cities, promising free health care, promising a paycheck, promising a job, all that kind of stuff. If anybody is responsible for the deaths of those two people, it's the pro-immigration, open border Republicans and Democrats who have abdicated their responsibility to take care of business here, and the media, who continually calls anybody who wants to secure the border. Had we secured the border and indicated that that's what exactly, had we closed the border, those two people would still be alive.
And many others, I'm sure, Jamie. No, the invasion at our southern border, which is unprecedented, is fostered and promoted by the left, not only by our politicians who encourage these people to trek up here, but in association with money, funding, inside operatives here, and they've even been sent to these countries in Central America to send these caravans and untold busloads and trainloads of people to our southern border to invade. But, you know, as pathetic as all this is, Jamie, I want to end on a high note, and I want to give thanks and a tip of the hat to our board members at the Trump headquarters at AmericaFirstMo.com, because without the leadership of Diane Neff, Alan Liederbrand, Renee Artman, and Annette Reed.
Yeah.
Annette Reed, sorry.
Don't forget her name,
Well,
dude.
no, because, but if it weren't for those people, these are the people that carry the weight and make what we do in promoting the president successful. And thank you very much to fellow board members, because we've had a couple of tremendous successes, and we expect to see that continue through to the reelection of the president.
Yeah, you guys work really hard. I mean, you're always out in force, and I love that, and always have been, especially through the 2016 campaign. And sadly enough, while we see all these other individuals not lifting a finger, we see these state Republicans who were more than happy to have Hillary Clinton as president of the United States. It's only by the grace of your hard work and what you guys have done to get the word out that we had the showing in Missouri for President Trump like we did.
Well,
seriously,
Jamie, we exist solely because the Republican Party didn't step up to the plate when they needed to in the candidacy of Donald Trump. So we took the bull by the horns. We ran the campaign in Missouri, and we continue to support the president through our efforts down at the Trump headquarters at Valley Park.
And believe me, I don't know when does the Sedalia State Fair take place? Missouri State Fair.
I've actually I'm glad you brought it up, because I sent word to the Missouri GOP that this year I would expect to see a reflection that President Trump is the leader he's the new leader certainly of the GOP.
Oh, you mean like the word Trump at the Missouri?
Well, any
tent?
indication in that display, the tent at the State Fair this year.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see some indication that Donald Trump is actually the president instead of Roy Blunt in an off-year election having his sign up there. We went through that controversy last year.
Yeah.
I was told that someone will contact me who's in charge of that. We have everything they need to make that look like a Trump booth.
But Ben,
so I haven't gotten that yet from them.
They have everything they need to make it happen. They don't. And again, no offense to you or what you guys do, but why would the Missouri GOP have to go to a Valley Park office to grab a Trump sign?
Jamie,
Screw them.
Ernie Trachis at the St. Louis County Council was inquiring this week why we still don't have the picture that would always hang there of the President of the United States. Certainly Obozo, your buddy Obozo, his mug hung in there.
Where?
At the St. Louis County.
The council office or whatever it is?
Well, in the building when you walk in and you see it there.
Yeah.
I think it's actually in the tax. Anyway, all the other presidents have been there, but they still haven't got President Trump's picture up, and Ernie Trachis is trying to figure out why. Thanks, Ernie.
Have they put it up at the Robert Young Federal Building yet? Because I don't know that. I don't know about that either. But
I don't go there. They have it at we've got it down at the VA at Jefferson Barracks.
Oh, good.
It's at the VA, so that helps.
Again, last year, the Missouri Republican Party, when they were asked why they didn't have a Trump sign, they said, "Well, nobody brought us one."
Oh, they didn't have one. Yeah.
This is so patently ridiculous. And I'll tell you one thing. They better have a Trump sign down there, or we're going to blow them up. I'm not kidding you. We're going to have names and everything else.
We've got names.
I'm not literally blow them up, but you know what I mean.
Well, sure.
Let's do a remote down there and check it out. We'll
a
follow
remote
up.
from the state fair at the
we'll
booth.
Make sure
That would be cool.
You guys why don't you have a booth right next to him? Or
Jamie, I did a booth at the state fair many years ago for the John Birch Society, of which I'm still a member. And I'll tell you what, it's a grueling exercise. And Sedalia seems forever from St. Louis, and you haul all your stuff out there, and you set out in the heat, and the cows are right down the other aisle from you, and it's a grind. So although I'm not a big fan of the state fair, if the Missouri Republican Party is going to have, again this year, a booth there, hey, you know what, though? They're really wanting to coattail. So I'm guessing, from my help or not, that Donald Trump will have a presence in that booth. But we'll find out. We'll have photos, certainly.
I'd have a booth down there.
I think you should
Probably
do at least
too
a
late,
remote.
though,
That'd
isn't
be
it?
great. I don't know.
Allman in the Morning booth.
They probably wouldn't let you in there.
They probably wouldn't, would they?
No. There'd be a reason, but I don't know what it would be. Oh, yeah, you're racist.
I'm gonna put up the. I'm gonna find out what Sedalia. Let me see something here. Sedalia State Fair.
You know they're listening, so I imagine you'll get a call. Maybe you'll get a special invite to come out. How about that? Would that be great? Allman in the morning from Sedalia.
Booth permits. Let me see. Missouri State Fair. Here. Vendor and concessions. But would I be a vendor?
No, vendors sell stuff. I think you'd be something else. Different class, but, whatever.
Exhibitor admission and parking.
You would be an exhibitor.
Oh,
Yes,
general
exhibitor.
event application. Let me see what that looks like. Let me see. Okay, general event application. Fields marked are required. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see if there's a deadline or anything on there. When is this thing? What's the date of it?
Well, you put me on the spot there. I'm thinking it's sometime between the 4th of July and Labor Day.
Yeah.
Good
call there, Ben.
I told you I wasn't planning on going.
No, I don't know. We'll figure something out.
All right.
You know what we should do is if we get wind that the GOP doesn't have a Trump sign down there, we ought to go down there and protest the Missouri GOP.
Take
booth.
all our Trump flags and signs and banners. Wouldn't that be great?
We should put like scarves over our face.
Wear the Guy
Wear Trump
Fawkes
signs.
masks and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Carry Trump signs. That
too
kind
much
of thing.
fun, Jamie.
All right, Ben. Well,
Thanks
we'll see.
so much,
where are we
man.
finding all of you, by the way?
America First Mo. That's AmericaFirstMO.com at the Trump headquarters in Valley Park. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, sir. It's Ben Murphy. 844-855-1380. Call Tammy.com. Real estate listener line. Thanks, buddy.
More Allman in the morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Let's face it, things happen in our daily life that may get us off track. Tooth pain and aches can happen when we least expect them. Get back on track with a visit to Dr. Anna Smith of Dentistry with TLC. Dr. Anna prides herself on helping patients when it's convenient for them, even during lunch hours, and always providing a judgment-free office. Dr. Anna Smith with Dentistry with TLC is here to help. Need a root canal? Dr. Anna can perform the procedure in about 10 minutes and get you back on the road. Have sleep apnea? While you're there, talk to Dr. Anna about an oral appliance to help you get a better night's sleep and feel well rested the next day. Dr. Anna Smith with Dentistry with TLC, located in Godfrey, Illinois. Call today at 618-466-0733. That's 618-466-0733. Or visit dentistrywithtlc.com to learn the TLC difference. That's dentistrywithtlc.com.
Proctor Drapery, Proctor spelled like doctor. I heard Darren from Rhino Shield, make your home great again. And Michael Proctor says, make your windows great again, or make your home great again, whatever it happens to be, because I guarantee you he will. Michael is a hardworking guy. 7 days a week he's available to you, and he has his mobile design unit as well. And he has been in this business for 45 years. I was a kid when he started, and he knows everything there is to know about what will look great in your home. He's an interior designer, too. So you get everything in one package, and you're getting it 7 days a week, and you're getting it coming to your doorstep because he has that mobile design unit. And then you're getting all kinds of different varieties. That's what people want. They want to be able to have choices. And sometimes for a certain window, a Norman shutter is going to look fantastic. Sometimes it's a Hunter Douglas robotic shade that'll fill your fancy there. Sometimes it is simply side panels, valances that you can have, whatever it happens to be, or the Roman shades. He's got all that you possibly could imagine when it comes to window treatments, and he'll take care of business for you. Michael is a competitor of the big guys, the people who are selling them out of boxes at Home Depot. He doesn't bother with those folks because they're just, you're not going to get the kind of service or the kind of quality. But he deals with the high-end people, and when he matches up with them, there's absolutely no contest at all because the value is so amazing, because his price, his workmanship, his availability, his convenience, all there for you at Proctor Drapery. Proctor spelled like doctor, proctordrapery.com.
This is a special alert for Americans who owe more than $10,000 in back taxes. Get ready for a toll-free hotline number. Call and get free information on how to take advantage of new initiatives that could significantly reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. Call Stop IRS Debt today at 800-893-8907. Learn how you can stop collection calls, IRS letters, bank levies, and wage garnishments, all by using a proven A+ BBB rated tax system that negotiates with the IRS for you. If you have haven't filed returns in years or you're already in a payment plan, you can still get tax relief. The government is ready to work out a generous program that can resolve your tax debt quickly. Be warned, this situation won't last forever and your tax debt will only get worse if you don't act now. Do not try to handle it yourself. Call Stop IRS Debt now for free information. 800-893-8907. That's 800-893-8907. 800-893-8907.
Listen to Allman in the Morning with Alexa. Wake up and say, Alexa, play The Answer St. Louis. Now, back to Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Yeah, some folks suggested that maybe we just take a little party bus down there. I bet you, I mean, they never learn. I bet these people don't care. I bet you they don't have a Trump sign down there. At the Missouri GOP booth in Sedalia. Well, if it goes a week, we'll find out if they do like the first day. And if they don't, then we'll do that. We'll do the party bus down there with Trump signs. And we won't give them Trump signs. What we'll do is we'll protest we'll get arrested and everything. Be fantastic. Let's chain ourselves to the Mo GOP booth. Just do like some kind of leftist weird kind of action, just to show them. But no, I don't think I would. I don't advocate getting arrested, but it would be like, or we can go down there like everybody else. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. It'd be funny to have the Missouri GOP people. They don't even have a Trump sign, but they still have like Antifa people yelling at them. And then we are yelling at them on the other side for not having a Trump sign. So there's the Missouri GOP booth. Like they're all hiding while both sides are yelling at them. You can't win. That's what you get, though, when you don't stand up for what you believe and you get run over. You get squishy, and then people start to take advantage of you. It doesn't pay to suck up to the left. It doesn't pay to hide your pride. It doesn't pay to keep quiet. It doesn't pay to wrap yourself in a cloth so nobody sees you. It doesn't work. All they do is take advantage of you. Time and time again, this has happened. You've proven that. When you stand for nothing, you fall over or you get run over, whatever it happens to be. I don't know what the colloquialism is. I mean, look at Mitt Romney. Look at John McCain, these losers who watered themselves down thinking that was going to help. Joy Behar's favorite Republican lost to Barack Obama. There you go. That's how it works. You will get run over. The phone calls are welcome. 844-855-1380. The call, Tammy.com, real estate listener line. And we have a special guest coming from my friends over at Alliance Defending Freedom as well. And we'll also double back on last night's clown car.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The Supreme Court will decide whether President Trump can end DACA, the Obama-era program shielding young immigrants from deportation. The justice's order sets the stage for high-stakes legal arguments in the fall. A decision is likely by June of 2020. And blocked by lower courts, the Supreme Court will not revive Alabama's ban on the most commonly used procedure in second trimester abortions. Asked who supports free health care for illegal aliens, all of the Democrat presidential candidates at last night's debate raised their hands. Also, Senator Bernie Sanders continued to make his pitch for Medicare for all. On Wall Street this morning, stocks have been bouncing between small gains and modest losses. Right now, the Dow is up 21 points, the Nasdaq better by 6, and the S&P 5 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Still just one delay at this hour, and that's on 6440 eastbound between McKnight and Big Bend. This has pretty much been the rush hour that never happened. We've got flooding issues still. Maryland Heights Expressway remains down to one lane in both directions between Creve Coeur Airport Road and Creve Coeur Mill Road. And 67 is one lane each way between 94 and the Clark Bridge on the Missouri side with flooding as well. We've got midday road work coming up today, 9 to 4. You'll see construction on eastbound 44 near 270, but otherwise it's a good-looking day. That's traffic. I'm Bonnie Green. On 1380 and 105.3 The Answer, online at theanswerstl.com.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have partly sunny skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 90. Clear and humid tonight, the low 71. Hot and humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow's high 92. Clear skies tomorrow night, the low 73. Partly sunny skies expected to wrap up the weekend Sunday. Very hot and humid with a high of 93. Partly sunny skies Monday, the high 92. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Greetings, St. Louis. This is Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. As a longtime supporter and sponsor of the Allman in the Morning Show, my goal as his trusted advisor is to make sure that you are in good hands. My team of agents and I know how to make sure that you get the best value for the money you spend on your insurance. Our quotes are free, so let us show you what we can do to save you money or give you the peace of mind that you deserve. Folks, there is safety in numbers. I urge you to put the power of Allstate, America's largest and strongest insurance company, to work for you. Call 855-QUOTE-ME.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
Well, you heard from Rick Pogue earlier. He is, of course, with Arrowhead Building Supply, and we are in the Arrowhead Building Supply studios. And Rick and Jerry and the rest of the gang there, they pull out all the stops for you as a homeowner and you as a contractor. First of all, I'll deal with the contractor part first because they specialize in a contractor referral service. So you get on board with them, and they're shoving work your way for people who come into their showrooms, see what they like, and they might not be with their own contractor. They've got contractors who specialize in every avenue of whatever it is they carry, whether it be the roofing, whether it be the guttering, whether it be the siding, what pergolas, you name it, they've got it all for you. And so I encourage you to go to arrowheadbuildingsupply.com if you are a contractor and see what they can do for you. They have the Emergency 315, which is basically one of the weather's been so weird lately, especially through May and June. And so if you happen to have a situation where we've got a storm and you see it in the morning and you call off the work, but then you decide the sun's out by noon and you want to go back to work, they'll roll with you and they'll give the 3-hour delivery, 15-minute guarantee, but they'll make it fast and make you happy with all your resupplies, everything else, and getting you going back up again. Also, when it comes to your clients, they're really wowing your clients because they have this brand new showroom they're opening, a 7,000 square foot showroom that we're going to roll out in August, and it's got a house inside of it, and you can see all of the materials they have, the Rosetta Stone, the cedar shake, all that kind of stuff in all of its full glory. And then also have the cube where you put in a picture of your home, and then you'll see what it looks like on your home. So it's all about convenience. It's all about pulling out all the stops to make everything really easy for you to make a decision when it comes to remodeling your home. So check it out on the web. It's arrowheadbuildingsupply.com. That's arrowheadbuildingsupply.com.
If you're a business owner in St. Louis, ask yourself the following questions. What is your current IT provider doing to protect you against ransomware attacks? Do you know the status of your backups and if those backups are good in the event of an attack or a network failure? Do you know if your network is secure from internal and external threats? If you answered no to any of these, you need to call ThrottleNet today. ThrottleNet specializes in assisting businesses with their network support and security. Don't become fishbait. Visit ThrottleNet.com for your free external vulnerability scan and your free Don't Become Fishbait poster.
At Staples, there's a whole lot in store and online. This week, buy 1 HP ink cartridge and get a second 30% off, so you can stock up and save. And $629.19 restrictions apply. See store associate or staples.com/HPBOGO for details. Staples.
This hour of Allman in the Morning is brought to you in part by Dr. Anna Smith. Come see what your smile can be at Dentistry with TLC.
The Dana Show, this afternoon at 1. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Good morning this morning, and welcome to Allman in the Morning. I tricked you, man. You thought I was going to do something differently, didn't I? You heard that. You thought I was going to do it. You're going to play that rap song with the Bob O'Reilly in the front of it, aren't you? Tricked you, dude. No, this is a real deal here. This is no sampling right here. So, I've been talking about the Alliance Defending Freedom. And these guys are amazing. They are the conservative ACLU. Although I've told you before, the ACLU actually should be in the business of defending freedoms of everybody. But unfortunately, they pick and choose who they're going to defend. And usually they're defending the left. And sometimes actually even aggressively trampling on the rights of good Christians, good conservatives, good constitutionalists on down the line. So one of the individuals who is a pivotal part of the Alliance Defending Freedom is Jake Warner. And he is a legal counsel with ADF, and he's a key member of the Center for Conscience Initiatives. And they are particularly been focused lately on the Colorado case concerning Jack Phillips. He's a cake artist in Colorado. And he opened Masterpiece Cake Shop in 1993, served his community in Colorado 20 years. He's been part of a major milestone events for all the community. He's like a big deal there. Family business. His wife is a co-owner of the shop. Daughter helps him run it. One of his sisters decorates the cakes. Another sister volunteers to keep the shop open. I mean, this is an American family experience here in Colorado with Masterpiece Cake Shop. Jack is also a Christian. And so in 2012, 2 men came in to the cake shop requesting a custom wedding cake celebrating their same-sex marriage. Jack said, I'm going to decline. I can't do that. My faith is very important to me, and I don't want to take place in a solemnity that I don't agree with. It's pretty easy. But offer to design them custom cakes for other occasions or sell them anything else in his shop that's already there. Well, the rest is history. They sued, and the Alliance Defending Freedom stepped in and said, we're going to be there for you. Jake Warner, thank you so much for being with us. How you doing?
Happy to be here. I'm doing well.
One of the things about this particular case, and people don't understand the element here when people refuse to participate in somebody else's solemnity. Like it's no different than if I went to a mosque and demanded that they set up a Christmas tree or sing a Christmas song with me, because they shouldn't be compelled to take part in my own solemnity. And so when Jack Phillips just simply politely declined. That should have been enough for this couple, but it wasn't.
You're exactly right. And I think you highlight an important problem that we need to address. The government shouldn't be in the business of punishing people for declining to express messages that conflict with their deepest beliefs. And that's a principle that protects Jack Phillips, and it's a principle that protects the people trying to punish Jack Phillips and people on the other side of the aisle from Jack Phillips. It's a principle that protects everyone.
So they filed a complaint, this couple did, with the Colorado Civil Rights Commission, and it was for sexual orientation discrimination. So at that point, how did you all argue against the claim that this was sexual orientation discrimination?
Well, sure. What we said was you got that wrong. It's not sexual orientation discrimination at all. Jack is more than happy to serve anyone. He just cannot express every message through his custom cakes. And those customers asked Jack to create a cake with a message that he would not express for any customer. So we made First Amendment challenges to that complaint all the way up to the Supreme Court, rooting our arguments in free speech as well as the free exercise of religion. As I'm sure you're aware, the Supreme Court didn't even have to reach our free speech argument because the court found that the state was so hostile to Jack's faith that the complaint had to be thrown out. The Supreme Court said that hostility was rooted in two things, or displayed by two things, and one was the unequal treatment that Colorado gave Jack. They treated him worse than every other Colorado cake artist because it wouldn't allow him to decline to express messages that conflict with his deepest beliefs. And the second thing was Colorado officials made hostile comments against Jack and his faith. And so the Supreme Court threw out the complaint and Jack won.
What was amazing about this is the length the state went to intimidate and harass Jack. And so one of them was that they wanted him to stop designing all wedding cakes then, which represented 40% of his business. So they said, if you can't do it for these guys, you need to stop doing it for anybody and everyone. And so you need to stop doing that. Also, you have to go through a staff re-education and teach them how to operate his business consistently, and it was wrong to do it in the formulation of his faith. And then on top of this, they required him to file quarterly compliance reports telling the government every time that he declines a custom cake request and explaining the reasons why. I mean, this was tyranny at the top level.
The penalties were decimating for sure. Jack has lost, like you said, over 40% of his business because he no longer creates custom wedding cakes. He hopes to again one day. But going past that, the order, like you said, forced Jack to basically re-educate his family and explain to them that his religious beliefs were wrong. And that's just not something that a free society should tolerate.
Yeah, so that's interesting because it's taken him this long. So he might, what is his status now then? I mean, I know it was just June when the Supreme Court made the decision. So what has happened to him? Is the family still all working there, or what has happened?
A lot has happened since last June. You might remember that the Colorado Civil Rights Commission filed a new complaint against Jack just weeks after the Supreme Court decision based on another custom cake request. On the same day that the U.S. Supreme Court decided to hear Jack's first case, a local Denver attorney contacted Jack's shop and asked for a custom cake with a pink and blue design that would celebrate that attorney's transition from male to female.
Oh.
And Jack declined to create that cake because it would have expressed a message that violated his religious beliefs. But the state came after him again, and that culminated with a settlement this past March where the case abandoned those claims because of the religious hostility concerns present there. The same concerns were present in that case that were present in the first case. But the problem is that it didn't stop there. Because of Colorado's aggression against Jack, it's allowed third parties to come and bring lawsuits against Jack. The same attorney who filed the complaint in that second case I just mentioned filed a new lawsuit against Jack earlier this month, alleging claims similar to the ones that were in the dismissed lawsuit that was settled a few months ago.
Golly. I mean, this is unacceptable. And of course, the only reason I'm sure that Jack and his family are still, have a house to live in and still are okay is because they haven't had to foot, although I'm sure they've had to foot some legal bills and that kind of thing. But with ADF, you all do this completely for free, correct?
That's exactly right. We do not charge our clients anything. We represent them for free, and certainly we rely on supporters to make donations to our organization, but that just shows how much we care about these issues. We want these freedoms, these fundamental First Amendment freedoms protected not only for us, but for our kids and our grandkids.
Yeah, I get the impression, Jake Warner, that it's funny. I something tells me that there seems to be some kind of regimented left-wing purposeful attack. Because, let's put it this way. Most of the gay people I know, if they don't want, if somebody didn't want to make a cake for them, they would just go to somebody else. They would just simply understand that person's reservations and go to someplace else. So what we're dealing with are a bunch of militant people who are waging regimented attacks on innocent business people. And so this is not going to stop until somebody challenges them and shows them that it's a fruitless endeavor. And so I'm glad Alliance for Defending Freedom is actually doing that. And I think you guys have done that in this case, but nonetheless, it didn't stop this transgender person from doing it again. But still, you got to keep fighting.
Certainly, the battle doesn't stop. These laws are hurting religious people around the country, and we're hoping that the Supreme Court will step in and hear one of these cases and finally say enough is enough and set the boundaries from what these laws can do, saying that they cannot compel speech, regardless what you believe, and they can't be used to exclude religious people from the marketplace.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you guys do a great job. And, folks, the only way that you're going to be able to keep the ADF going to the extent that it's going, knowing that they work for free, is for you to step up. And especially my audience, I'd love for you to be able to give $100, 10 of you right now, to support ADF and actually, more importantly, support your fellow citizens, because oftentimes people are left defenseless. And they won't be as long as ADF is there. So if you go to theanswerstl.com, click on the ADF banner, you're going to be able to find out how you can contribute. $100 a head for 10 people would be a great message to the ADF and to your fellow citizens. And you can also use this number. It's exclusive to my show, 866-700-1060, 866-700-1060. Well, Jake Warner with the Alliance Defending Freedom legal counsel there, thank you so much for letting us know what you guys are up to, and thank you so much for your hard work defending freedom, and we appreciate you guys more than you know. So thank you for joining me today, too.
Thanks for your support, and thanks for having me on.
No problem. That is Jake Warner with the Alliance Defending Freedom. Your phone calls are welcome, 844-855-1380. It's the calltammy.com real estate listener line.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
This is Albert Moeller for townhall.com. Among the decisions coming out of the Supreme Court this term was a big case on religious liberty. By a 7-2 margin, the court found that the Memorial Cross in Bladensburg, Maryland could remain. The 40-foot cross has honored the World War I dead for nearly 100 years. It's an enormous win. A very key takeaway is what the court did with the Lemon test, the test of constitutionality of government involvement when it comes to religion. The problem with the Lemon test is that it has always been subjective and often used in ways that are hostile to religious expression. In his concurring opinion, Justice Neil Gorsuch declared simply, Lemon was a misadventure. And a majority of the justices made clear that the Lemon test is no more. That's good news. And by a convincing 7-2 majority, the Supreme Court of the United States said that the Bladensburg Cross, and thus other similar crosses and religious expressions, can stand. That, too, is very good news.
Publicpolicy.pepperdine.edu.
Folks, Tammy Mitchell Hines and Company is the number one independent real estate agency in southwestern Illinois. And this is the reason. When you are independent, you don't have the mothership looking over your shoulder every single time. When you are independent, you can actually help somebody where otherwise maybe the rules of the mothership won't let you. You can bend this way, bend that way, move this, move that. You can give people moving vans, or you can have your real estate agents, the and company part. You can pay for their cars, their insurance, and their gasoline, so they only have to focus on selling or buying homes. So that's important. And what that turns into is this rate, which is selling one home every 30 hours. That's the Tammy Mitchell Hines and Company promise. And that's amazing. Sometimes it's even less than that. So the fact of the matter is, Tammy Mitchell Hines and her staff, with the energy that they bring, will help you get that home sold and get in that dream home as soon as you possibly can. And they'll do it easily. They'll do it without seemingly any effort at all, but they'll be focused solely on you. And in spite, it doesn't matter whether you have a $100,000 home, a $200,000 home, $1 million home, whatever. It doesn't matter. They will take all comers and help anybody at the Tammy Mitchell Hines and Company offices. Call Tammy.com. Call Tammy.com.
Hello, this is Dr. Jim Hankinson. Join me every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for Back to Wellness as we explore different health segments like back and neck pain, diabetes care, nutrition, weight loss, and more. I will give you my analysis of this week's health news as we explore and talk about the latest health trends. And of course, I will answer your health-related questions. Back to Wellness every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. right here on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
KXFN, St. Louis, K287BY, St. Louis.
Greetings, St. Louis. This is Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. As a longtime supporter and sponsor of the Allman in the Morning Show, my goal as his trusted advisor is to make sure that you are in good hands. My team of agents and I know how to make sure that you get the best value for the money you spend on your insurance. Our quotes are free, so let us show you what we can do to save you money or give you the peace of mind that you deserve. Folks, there is safety in numbers. I urge you to put the power of Allstate, America's largest and strongest insurance company, to work for you. Call 855-QUOTE-ME.
Hey, want to talk with Jamie? Call 844-855-1380. 844-855-1380. And interact with Common Sense Radio. This is Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
The moon was shining on the lake at night. The Slayer t-shirt fit the scene just right. Smeared mascara, I looked into your eyes and saw a light. You told me stories about your chickadees. They didn't like me because of stupid archery. You charmed the lifeguard, you let them use the pool all day for free.
Good morning. This morning, get about a Les is on line one. Les, thank you for calling the show. How are you doing?
Good, Jamie. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's up?
Okay, so, I mean, I just don't agree with the whole idea that the bakery would be, you know, saying we are putting forth the idea that the gay couple, we endorse the gay couple if we bake a cake for them. I don't understand that.
Well, you know, here's the thing.
I think they're discriminating.
Well,
based on sexual preference.
Well, no, it's not, because here's the thing. Your rights as a gay person don't supersede your rights as an individual expressing your First Amendment rights, which also includes freedom to worship however way you want to. And that's what the Supreme Court clearly sided with that argument. Now, from a purely capitalistic...
I have a comment for that, but I'll listen.
Well, but from a purely capitalistic point of view, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't turn anybody away. I mean, if I'm making something, I wouldn't turn anybody away. But some people, though, and you have to understand this because we make accommodations for everybody, it seems, except for people who exercise their Christian faith. Some people truly do not want to be forced to participate in somebody else's solemnity, and I completely understand that.
Then don't bake cakes. Don't bake cakes if people are going to come in and want a cake baked for them. And no, I believe, I don't think faith should come into it. Religious freedom means you can, pray however you want, believe what you want without the government coming in and taking you away.
Yeah.
Past that.
Yeah, but you don't understand though. That's what this is. That's its own form of worship, its own form of adherence to faith. So it doesn't. So you here's the thing, Les. You Les. I mean, you're a nice guy, but it's not. You can't decide what form the worship takes in. And you can't.
I don't want to decide.
Well, you are, but that's what you just said.
I want them to bake cakes. I don't want them to, to push their religious faith into someone's face and say, "I'm not going to bake your cake because I believe in God."
But the cake baker doesn't want anybody to push your gay stuff in their face either, and I understand that too.
No, but you can be. That's the whole thing. We should protect people that are gay. We should protect people that are straight. We should protect people, period.
Right. I was hoping you were going to say and protect people who are religious, but I was hoping you were going to say that as the third element there.
No, I do. I believe that too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling the show. From a capitalistic point of view, me personally, I would make the cake for somebody. But that opinion, you have to respect. It's funny how we're always told that we have to respect everybody's point of view and everybody's feelings, and we have to respect everybody's self-identification. And I'm identifying as a woman, so you must respect that. But somebody says, you know what, I'm identifying as a Christian, and suddenly your whole business is closed down. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say here. And unless freedom is tough, freedom is not easy. Freedom requires people to tolerate decisions that people make and things people say that they don't agree with. And so the Supreme Court clearly decided that freedom also involves people making decisions based on their faith and being able to do so without repercussions from the government. It's really easy. And so I don't want to, like, for instance, to me, a gay marriage, I wouldn't go in and move to stop somebody from being married. It's none of my business as far as I'm concerned. And so whether you like it or not, whatever, it doesn't matter what your feeling is. It matters what the law is, and it matters what the Constitution says. And you know what? It matters what the Supreme Court says. And they've clearly decided that they're going to side with people who exercise their faith, even if that faith is not culturally popular or on with the times or whatever it happens to be, or capitalistic, whatever. That's the argument I make. And that's the argument the Alliance for Defending Freedom made, and successfully. Just letting you know. All right, well, folks, have a great rest of your weekend. I appreciate you listening to the Allman in the Morning Show. Have a good one. Thank you, Phil Valencia. Thank you, Max Foisey. Have a good one, everybody.